powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold. Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Here's Collins. Ahead to Miller. And Miller reverses it up and in. And he's fouled. Holy moly. Make sure your Valentine's Day plans include Sun Devil men's basketball. The Sun Devils face Oregon State Wednesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. in the Beavers' final Pac-12 visit to Tempe. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball. Onward to victory.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Wings are here.
Oh, from?
No, I'd never order from anymore. Popeyes now has wings in 5 flavors. Ghost pepper, roasted garlic parmesan, sweet and spicy, signature hot, and honey barbecue. Marinated in Louisiana spices, hand battered and flipped. Makes no sense they're $5.99 for 6 pieces. Taste them.
Crunchy outside.
And juicy inside.
Consider me a convert.
That's the most romantic thing you've said to me all month.
We don't make sense. We make chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Price may vary.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
1084, please stand by. We all know driving hammered gets you nailed, but did you also know driving high is a DUI? I'm Officer Badalucco with the Gilbert Police Department. Anything that impairs your driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is illegal. Be smart with marijuana use. Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with hashtag high DUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting at K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Wednesday here on the Daily Blender. Yeah, go ahead and just turn off the music. I don't feel like the happy music, at least not for this moment. I guess you guys maybe did hear or didn't hear that there is 1 dead and at least 9 injured at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade just an hour or two ago. And it just kind of makes doing the slap and dance and monkey show just I don't even want to do it, to be honest. I don't even feel like doing this show right now, but we have to. But so this this is just what we've been talking about when we talk about people in general these days. The people that come to the basketball games and start crap with the players, and the fear of what people might do in certain interactions. And then, of course, you get 1 million people in one place. And I don't know what this is about. I don't know if this is, just somebody who decided they wanted to shoot a bunch of people, if there was an argument or whatever. But, this is we heard the audio of the gunfire there near the the stage. But by the way, no Chiefs players were hurt, no officials, no the coach is fine, the governor of the state is fine. All the people that were over at the stage weren't around this. But right now you've got somebody is dead. There's reports that more than a couple of kids were shot. One of them, a 15-year-old girl who got shot in the leg. And then listen, I don't know how much of this is all accurate, how much this will change, how much the number will go up or go down. But this just takes all the fun out of it. This just takes all the fun out of it. And of course, it's a deadly situation. And you wonder, wow, with people the way they are these days, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often, or I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet. And there's always this thing where it's like, people's like, hey, you want to go to a parade? I'm like, no, not a chance, because this is what I always think might happen. So, I don't know where to go with this. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fun sports show. But I'll be honest, I don't feel very fun right now. And don't come up on this text line trying to make jokes about this. I will block you forever if you do. So, I don't know what to do here. Do you guys have any idea what to do here? I don't know what to do here.
Well, as much as you can't, try your best to go through it sort of business as usual in terms of, just doing the show. But when you're talking about, when I got in and pulled up stuff on the computer and it said 10 people were injured, then I went to the bathroom and came back to the computer and they were like, actually, just kidding, 15. This is an ongoing, still pretty bad situation. And so, I don't know that there's any clear way to do this properly.
So all we can do is tell you what you probably already know. I would imagine you've already heard the reports. I would imagine a lot of you aren't listening here. A lot of you are tuned to a news station or a TV station on this. But what do you even say about this? Where do you go from here? And we will. We have sports stuff to talk about. But man, we suck as people. Basically, humanity is really in a state of we suck right now. We can't get together and be safe, celebrating something really great that happened in the community without somebody coming along and shooting up the place. There's always something, and listen, maybe you're going to say, hey, we don't suck that bad. There was 1 million people there, and only that one person did that. Well, it was 2 people, but only these 2 people did this one little thing. It's not. This is bad. It keeps getting bad, and then we keep doing the same thing. Thoughts and prayers. Okay, well, that's helpful. Thanks. That does nothing. And then we talk about it a while, and then nothing happens, and then we just go about our lives, and it happens again. And listen, I'm pro-gun. I'm not saying anything about the guns here. I'm talking about people. People suck. I think that what happened was you got all these good people, and then there was always at least one person who sucked. And now you got all these good people, and a lot of people suck. And a lot of people suck in a way where they want to do maximum damage sucking. And then these things happen. So we should be happy that it wasn't worse. We should be happy that things were handled pretty quickly. But the fact that it happened at all, what? Remember, we were talking about the basketball and the fact you got to keep people separated. And I propose there's got to be a barrier between the people and the people in the stands. And the wimpy basketball players. Yeah, you can put up with it. Are you starting to see it now? Do you guys see what I'm seeing here? It's like, can we even have a Super Bowl parade now? Can we have a parade now? There's always going to be either somebody local that has a screw loose who wants to shoot up the place, or there's a terrorist who wants to shoot up the place. It is, what is this we're living in right now? What can we do with a reasonable expectation anymore? I don't know.
I don't know. Anytime you go out, to a large group of people, you go out to a concert. Well, we've had problems there. You go to a movie. Well, we've had problems there. You go to a sporting event. Well, we've had problems there. Like it doesn't seem. It seems like the list of places you can go and reasonably expect to be safe just shrinking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we all should live in fear.
No,
but I'll tell you what I'm not going to be doing. If the Phoenix Suns win a championship, or the Cardinals, or the Coyotes, or anyone else, I'm not going to a parade. See, Hefty, are you looking to get blocked? Really? Are you looking to get blocked with that? Because you're about to get blocked. I don't care who you think you are. I'm about to block your ass. I told you guys, don't try to be funny right now. I'm not in the mood. I'll just turn the radio off right now. You have nothing but blank air for all I care. This is just takes all the fun out of doing a fun sports show.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. Boy, I can't wait to see if Travis Kelce ever did manage to do one better than his brother at a Super Bowl speech. It was supposed to be stuff like that. It was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what I tuned in for. I was like putting the show together at about 1:30, and I'm like, oh, let's see how Travis Kelce did trying to beat his brother Jason at the drunken Super Bowl parade. I have no idea now. I can't tell.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you could find it, that's not the priority. There's no reason to care relative to what is actually important here, which is that you have at least one person dead, and you have the lives of several other people potentially hanging in the balance. We should have had a show where we could make jokes, but that's just not what's going on today, and it sucks.
So if you're not clear on what happened, so they had the parade. They had everybody on stage. Everybody gave their speeches. In fact, they were winding down. The music had just stopped. And about 15 seconds later, the crowd is kind of singing, doing their thing. About 15 seconds later, people are like, oh, my God, is that fireworks? Is that firecrackers? And it was the rapid succession of a fully automatic weapon going off. I've heard I've heard the audio from what happened. And it was like, so it wasn't somebody shooting fast. It was somebody with a fully automatic weapon, just spraying the crowd, shooting women, children, and I think the guy who died. The report was he just got shot in the face. So so that happened, and people weren't even fully aware of it. A lot of people just kept on walking, singing, thinking everything's fine, going to their cars, which is probably better for the situation. So you didn't have a million people stampeding, and then you end up with more people hurt and injured from that sort of a thing. And so the cops all ran in right towards the shooting. They all ran towards what was happening. They apprehended 2 people who had guns, but I don't know if those were the people. Don't know if those were the shooters. Yeah, because even after that, in the right there in that little area where the stage was, you saw people running into the station, into the I guess it's a train station, or a bus station, Union Station, whatever it is. And so they were chasing somebody or something. A lot of confusion, I'm sure, out there on the scene. But so yeah, that's what happened. And now they're trying to make sense of it. It's a giant crime scene, and there's several people who are taken to the children's hospital, so indicating what that means, and then several people taken to other hospitals. And now we just wait until somebody actually has a clear picture and can tell us exactly what happened. That's all right, Hefty Lefty. Yeah, he didn't hear the first part. He didn't understand. He didn't know what we were talking about. That's cool, man. I got you. Anyway, so what do we do now? What do we do now?
I think the only thing we can do, Jeffrey, is pray. And I know that seems like nothing, but.
Well, then that's fine. That if people want to do that,
it's not like it's not like a building collapse or a bomb exploded and people can go and help rebuild or, do something. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a way to help in the next in the following hours, some tangible way that people can either go there. I don't think they can go there and do anything.
No,
I mean, I'm sure that the Kansas City PD is all over this thing.
Yeah.
There were, the good thing to see was there were a lot of officers there, and they responded quickly. But I mean, you can't protect everybody all the time. I mean, you could have 10,000 police officers out there. There's still going to be loopholes. You got crazy everywhere on this planet, not just here in the United States.
We didn't used to be this.
Well, it didn't used to be this way, but there's crazies everywhere. I mean, there's crazies everywhere. You know, what about the just recently, a couple of years ago, the bombs that blew up outside the, the soccer arena in
or those Olympics in Atlanta.
The Olympics in Atlanta, the guy, detonated a bomb. I mean, there's just crazies everywhere.
Well, things have gotten worse. You know, it used to be every now and then some terrorist would do a thing or this thing would happen. Now it's like every week you got a bunch of people getting shot up. It's just like a constant thing. And again, not making a comment about guns, pro or con, but I'm just talking about people.
Well, I mean, I think the best thing that we can do as a society is be vigilant when you are out in public. And it doesn't matter if it turns out to be false. If you see something, say something, make a call, get the authorities involved. Try to preclude what's going to happen. If you see a strange person that's looking around, it doesn't quite fit in, say something. Have the authorities check them out. It's better to have somebody checked out by the law enforcement or those in charge than it is to have a tragedy like this. And, and anything else is be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Don't just go through life on a rowboat and just happy like a lark. And you've got to be aware of your surroundings. If something happens, how are you and your friends and or family going to escape? In
this situation, people are just standing around and all of a sudden they just start spraying with gunfire. You can be as aware of your surroundings as you want. But
well, then the best thing to do is hit the deck. I mean, if you don't think of anything else, if you hear gunshots, hit the deck.
So, if people of whatever faiths feel like they want to pray, the best way to do that is privately. Because there's nothing more worthless in social media or people making it about themselves saying thoughts and prayers. You know what? Shut up with your thoughts and prayers. Let's think about how do you make people better?
I think that's people trying to do something like you said.
No, it's people trying to make it about themselves on social media. Because if you picture themselves going, "Oh, thoughts and prayers," shut your face.
Because if you wanted to pray,
you do all of zero.
You just pray.
Well,
you pray. God doesn't need you to post it on social media. What God needs you to do is be a better person and maybe spread it around.
I'm not
saying to say this, and I'm not trying to make waves here, but that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes tweeted out.
All right. Now,
praying for the people of Kansas City.
He's a guy. Well, that's a little bit different than thoughts and prayers and that throwaway thing that people always seem to do. He's somebody that they will look to for some sort of a comment or a thought on it. So praying for that, I'd say just like what you did the same thing. I'm not mad at you for saying we should pray because this was a conversation. And so for Patrick Mahomes to say that, he wasn't saying thoughts and prayers, throw away thoughts, make it about me and some ribbon on my picture. He was actually saying, hey,
I see what you're saying. I understand. But
because the thoughts and prayers don't get anything done. Doing things get things done. Being better gets things done.
Well, we can all be better, but still, Jeffrey, this is the society we live in. And that's why I say everybody has got to learn to be prepared. You have got to be prepared. If you're going out in public, you've got to be thinking about what's going on. And if you see something weird, say something. Because that's a society we live in now, Jeffrey. And that's the only way we can protect ourselves. Well, and that might be a thing too. Maybe, you watch it on TV. Hell, it's got a lot of, television coverage. It's not like you had to go down to the parade.
Silver Pop says, wow, guys, what can be said about this? This is sad. As a father of 3 boys, I've always taught them, be aware of your surroundings. They always thought I was exaggerating. My oldest just called me and said, man, you're right, Pops. We do have to be careful everywhere we go in public. just frustrating. It's sad and it's maddening that this keeps happening.
Well, I mean, yes, it's true. It can happen anywhere. Movie theaters, grade schools.
It didn't used to, and we had guns back then too. So it's not the guns, it's the people. We're making bad and broken
You
people.
are 100% right. You're 100% right. For whatever reason, there's crazies, and there's even more crazies today.
And now you know why I want an island. I'm serious.
Not for all the good it does, but you just see people like Mark Zuckerberg and guys just raking in the cash on what people are consuming on social media. And you said we're making broken people. I honestly think that's making people broken. That's my personal
Social
take
media?
on it. Is that people are more miserable than they've ever been, and that's a thing that seems to be a factory of misery that you hold in your hands. I mean, the amount of bullying that happens on there, the fact that people compare themselves to everybody else, that they can't possibly, achieve that goal. The fact that, you can make fun of somebody, never actually see how much you hurt them, and then not learn a lesson about empathy. Like it just all kind of stacks on top of each other over time.
A lot of bad parenting too.
Yeah.
And I don't want see, but that's the problem there. There are a lot of parents that are not involved in their children's lives.
Yeah, and people have become more and more selfish, and so they're trying to be their kids' friends and not their kids' parents, and they're not teaching them the right things, and they're letting them get away with everything, and there's no consequences for anything, and then these kids are left to try to navigate what Keon is talking about, the social media and their social interactions without any kind of guidance or way of knowing which way to go. So that, they start to see that, well, okay, I'm not this, I'm not that. And then they get that desperation and they start to fall into, different areas. Now, this may have nothing to do with what happened today. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't still know exactly what happened today.
Just mean the general trend of people, not specifically.
We're just making crap people now because it didn't used to be this way. Every now and then something tragic and horrible would happen. Now it's every week. This is a big one because it got a lot of attention. Why? Sports and the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying?
But we're numb to most of them that
last
happened.
week, I don't know where, but there was a shooting. There was a mass shooting. And the week before that, and the week before that, I can't tell you because we've become numb to it because it happens so much. Again, not about the guns. This is about the people. Hurry Harry says heightened awareness is an understatement. And I agree with Randy. Thoughts and prayers is very superficial. You got to set the example and help others to that bar you just raised. That's right. Now, Randy, when he says he wants to pray for the situation, he legitimately means that. He's not saying that to get attention. He's not saying that to get likes or hearts or whatever. That's literally where his heart goes. Is right to his faith, and that's respectable, and I think that's great. Absolutely nothing against that. Same thing for Patrick Mahomes and what he put out. But you know what I'm talking about when it comes down to the vapid, insipid, inane thoughts and prayers group. They're going to be posting crap all over social media, trying to make it about themselves next.
I get that, but I think the focus needs to remain on. Like you said, what can we do? And right now, the only thing we can do is we can pray for the people involved in this situation and the families affected. And number two, we can also spend time teaching our loved ones and our friends and making sure that they know how to be aware in situations when they go out in public. I don't know how many times, and I know, Jeffrey, you probably did the same thing, but I don't know how many times I lectured my kids on, all right, look, you're going out. You need to be careful. You need to be aware of your surroundings. My daughters, I bought my one daughter a taser because you just don't know. She was coming out at the, in the evening hours, in the dark hours, and you just don't know what's lurking out there in the shadows. And I taught her how to use that. I taught her how to defend herself and how to, make sure that she's aware of her surroundings and to be vigilant about that. Pay attention. Don't be on your stupid phone when you're coming out or when you're out in public. Make sure you take a good look around. You know what I mean? It just takes you 30 seconds. Take a good look around. And if something happens, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go first? And how do I save myself, my family, and my friends that I'm with? What am I going to do?
We shouldn't have to, but you're right.
Well, I know, but these are the days we live in. And if you hear gunfire, hit the deck.
These days suck.
Yeah.
Beer Bob says, see something weird, say something, unless you're at a Daily Blender remote, because then I think we'd all get reported. That's probably true. Yeah,
there's that.
Actually, the weird person is the person that looks the most normal. So
That's
you
the
probably
one you
still
gotta
say
keep an eye
something.
on.
Yeah.
Blender remote.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
It's a very good point. Yeah.
Makes me not want to have any more. Listen, we do need to, I guess, do something. I imagine we just need to start talking some sports and just be, normal, I guess, as normal as we get, and just try to figure out what to do with the next 2.5 hours here. So we'll keep you up to date if any other pertinent information comes, but generally how these things go, it won't be good. Man, it went from 10 people hurt to 12 people to 15. And then it went from everybody's okay to one guy dead, and who knows what happens next. And so we're not going to be ghouls about this. We're not going to be like vultured over our computer screens, but when something that is relevant and that matters comes up, we'll let you know. Outside of that, I guess we're just going to do our best just to talk about the dumb crap we talk about. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA tonight, the Phoenix Suns are home to take on the Detroit Pistons. Detroit with the worst record in the NBA, just 8 wins on the season, while the Suns are coming off a victory against Sacramento Tuesday, where they beat the Kings 130-125. The Suns have now won 4 of their last 5 games and 6 of their last 8. Tonight at home, they're a 13-point favorite, minus 850 on the money line. Detroit plus 590. The over-under is set at 237. Also tonight, the Lakers are on the road to face Utah. Lakers without LeBron James is resting up his injured ankle. The Jazz are a 5.5-point favorite. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off. Then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harman Solar today. Harman Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harman Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
ADOT's I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Project is in the works. It's an 11-mile stretch of Interstate 10 between Loop 202 and I-17. When complete, your travel time through the area will be reduced. Access to Sky Harbor, retail centers, and colleges will be improved, and the region will be able to better support a growing economy and more. Keep up with the project and traffic updates at i10broadwaycurve.com and stay ahead of the curve. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. And okay, well, with everything else that's going on, today is Valentine's Day.
Oh.
And I think 3:27 p.m. is about the time most guys go out and get their wife something. So
Happy Valentine's Day to you guys. Will you guys be my Valentine?
Everybody's about to make a run on the 7-Eleven flowers. So you better get yours before somebody else does. But here's the thing about today. Now, I'm not Catholic. I know you're thinking, how are you Irish? Well, I'm just not. I'm not Catholic. And
how are you Irish?
Oh, I know, because there's like only 4 kids in my family, which is like having a single child if you're Irish or Catholic.
I'm not Catholic. I had 6 kids.
Yeah. Well, you were damn near Mormon. Anyway, so so today being Valentine's Day, but it's also Ash Wednesday. The day of marking the start of Lent, and a lot of people get marked literally on their forehead with the palm ash. I don't understand it. Don't know why they do it. I don't need anybody to explain it to me again, because I always forget after you do. So don't bother. But it's Dominus Flaviscus. Here's a little smudge for your head to show everybody that you showed up. And it's a mortal sin, I think, if you don't. But no, wait, that's Easter and Christmas.
I don't think it's mortal.
I can't track how the Catholics try to kill people. Anyway, so the ash smudge, that just signifies you went to mass or something on Ash Wednesday, right? That is at least what that means, right? I don't know. I mean, forget it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so people are wondering if today is Valentine's Day, but it's also Ash Wednesday, can you celebrate both? And I looked it up, and it says no. Which I don't know where that leaves a lot of Catholic men and women. Yeah. Here's what it is. It depends on how serious you are about both traditions. Valentine's Day, candy hearts, chocolate-fueled, sexy, secular celebration. Date nights and romping around afterwards. You know what I mean? And very commercialized and stuff. But traditionally, it's also a feast day for some Christians to honor Saint Valentine. All I'm going to say is to the Catholics, hey guys, it was a saint, one of your guys, who made the holiday, Saint Valentine. So you probably should have figured this out a long time ago.
Well, I first of all, I want to answer your question. The ash represents man from Genesis. Man was made from the dust of the earth, and to the dust he will return. And so the ash represents not only death, but it also represents repentance. That's the belief in the Catholic faith. So that's why they go and get it. It represents where they came from and where they're going, and repentance of their sins. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Lent begins at sundown, but I could be very confused here, because I don't remember.
All right. So here's actually what Ash Wednesday. It's a solemn day of fasting and reflection that launches Lent.
Yeah.
It's a required day of fasting and abstinence. Keyword, abstinence for the Catholics. Now, I don't know what time that happens, but That at least is the best description I have. And by the way, Ash Wednesday is one of them annoying holiday or things that move around. I hate holidays that move around. Can't you just pick a damn day? So no one chose for this to be on Valentine's Day. It's a link to Easter Sunday, which moves around based on the first full moon after the March equinox. Where you remember the equinox, the thing that guided all the pagan holidays. Well, hey, you're Christian. Use a calendar, by God. Anyway, so Easter is on March 31st this year. What? Why isn't it in April? Should be in April. I get it. Equinox.
March
whatever.
31st. Yeah.
So Catholic Bishop Richard Henning of Providence, Rhode Island says it's just not possible to celebrate both. Ash Wednesday needs to be prioritized. He says it is the much higher value and deserves the full measure of our devotion. I ask with all respect that we maintain the unique importance of Ash Wednesday. So if you went out there today and got a little smudge in your forehead, you ain't getting none, son. That's all I know.
Is there a late mass that someone can go to, get the Valentine's Day in, and then start your Ash Wednesday a little later than most?
Maybe not if you're prioritizing things, Keon. I'm just saying.
Perhaps looking for a loophole is a little disingenuous given what
It's
we're
also
talking
not
about.
taking. Well, it's all a loophole, isn't it? Oh, Mardi Gras, Lent, and Ash Wednesday. I gave up Lent for Lent. I'm good. I can do whatever I want now. We're good. So that's my loophole. I gave up Lent for Lent. Also, not Catholic. So have a great night, Catholics.
Yeah, if you're a Protestant, you're all right.
Does other religions do the Ash Wednesday thing? Or is it just the Catholics?
No, just the
Not
Catholic.
just the
Church.
Catholic.
What about the Frozen Chosen, the Lutherans? What do they do? Do they do this?
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
I don't
You
know.
check on that, but I don't think so.
So, well, anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what you guys are going to do. This is really up to you. It's none of my business. The bishop did say, well, what did you expect me to say? I'm a bishop. And he says, you can have fun with it, exclude conversation hearts from the fasting. Maybe use melted chocolate to smudge across your loved one's forehead. Well, that just makes me want to lick my loved one. You know what I'm saying? So you're not helping, Bishop.
You're not helping it at all. So it actually says that they're Lutherans, Anglicans, some Baptists, and some Methodists actually do celebrate Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
By the way, Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday mashup, I guess is what the kids would call this. That's happened before. Last time it occurred 2018, which was really just silly because that was the year that Easter was on April Fool's Day, which, that's also a bad combo. Before that, we hadn't seen the dates line up since 1945. So it doesn't happen very often, but I guess when it does, you're supposed to maybe reschedule your Valentine's Day.
Well, I mean, it's one day. If you observe that and it calls for fasting and abstinence, it's one day. So you got to work this timing out. You got to get some the day before, and then you go crazy on the day after. You see what I'm saying? And then you abstain. Think about how much more sweet it's going to be on the following day.
Delayed gratification.
All the Valentine's candy and flowers will be on sale. You see what I mean? You got to look at the positives here.
As a married man, I am used to abstinence, and I'm and if you've seen me lately, I should be doing some more fasting. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be observing for ours. Of course, after I made that last comment, I probably will be. Heavy Metal Maniac says, "What's this Valentine's Day stuff? It's Arizona's birthday today." Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Arizona. Happy birthday. That's right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I don't know which birthday it is, but it's a birthday.
1912.
So was that it?
State. 1912.
So that's 112 years. See how fast I did that, man? I really surprised myself.
I was way behind you there.
Yeah. 112 years. Donnie says, what did you guys get for your wives and girlfriends? Been thinking about this ribeye all day at work since 7 a.m. So you got your wife a ribeye. Well, see, that's great. If your wife is a man. If your wife is a lady, you probably just blew it.
Unless she said specifically she likes ribeye, in which case,
That's true.
Go for it.
My wife asked me what I would like her to make me
for Valentine's Day dinner? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, well, then I'm making you some salmon. I'm like, wait, that's what you always want. Like, I guess, okay. That I guess I have requested her favorite dish for Valentine's Day.
Well,
I'm okay with it.
when you said I don't know, she's
Yeah,
like,
that's
all
on
right.
me. That's on me.
Well, okay then.
Moist one says, can't wait to eat a heart-shaped pizza all by myself.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
awesome. You get it all. Good for
Yeah.
you, man.
Sorry, Moist one.
See, I'm trying to
Think of the positives
help you,
here.
man.
Yeah.
It's an entire pizza.
Yeah, oddly shaped, but yeah. Beer Bob says, you know what Moist one's going to do though? The heart-shaped pizza, he's just going to turn it upside down and go, oh yeah. Because guess what that looks like? That's just how I think that's how Moist one really wanted it.
We know him
Shorty
too
gotta
well.
get lower, 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 lower.
Beer Bob says, I'm Catholic, but I'm not practicing. So all I did was take some ash from one of my cigars and I rubbed it on my forehead. Figured
Yeah,
that's
there
good
it is.
enough.
There it is.
Well, good enough to impress the neighbors. I don't know. Not sure how God feels about it. No, I'm honestly not sure how God feels about the whole Ash Wednesday thing as it is. You might maybe. What if God has OCD like me? And is like, could you please just? It's hard to talk to you with that. Just gonna just wipe that off, please. Just do you mind? I saw a cartoon today. Just cracked me up. I hadn't seen it before. There's this football player gets the touchdown. He's like, woo! Thank you, Jesus. This is for you. And it cuts to Jesus sitting there on the couch watching hockey. Didn't even see it. Cards Chappie says, yeah, Ash Wednesday and Lent makes celebrating Valentine's kind of awkward. Yeah. And I guess according to the authorities, you've got to focus on the Ash Wednesday part. Fish Tank says, Ash Wednesday, is that supposed to remind me to lotion my elbows? Oh yeah, I'm very ashy on the elbows too. I think you get to a certain age and you do need something.
You do. It's just I have no choice. It's too visible when I don't.
Yeah, look at. Can you see it on me? No, you can't.
No.
That is
It's
the
literally
one
just
benefit I get.
reflecting a lot of light. There's no way to tell.
Right. If I put my elbow up, it just blinds you right there. Look how that tells the story, I think. Let's see. Ralph from Harmon Solar says, I can't handle anybody on this show talking about the things God. And then that was I don't know what. Where's the rest, Ralph? Where's the rest? I think, or you just think can't
Was there
handle
like
any
a
of us.
dot there, or
There's no ... I can't handle anybody on this show talking about the things God.
the things God?
I don't know who the things
we weren't
God
talking
is.
about the things God. We were talking about the God.
Which God? The Catholic God is the one we're talking about.
Well,
then,
not
I
the
guess.
things God, though. Talking about the God.
Well, I can't understand his text half the time as it is.
Well, I know.
Did he hit send before he intended to? Because that's the only way that makes any sense.
I guess. I don't know. Heavy Metal Maniac says, I can't believe you guys didn't know Arizona was Valentine's Day. I guess me being born here helps out. No, we knew.
I didn't, but
I
yeah,
was born here. I knew.
I've been here for 3 years. I don't know the state, and I'm an Army brat. I don't know any of the founding dates of any of the states I've lived in. There's so many. Why? That's such an unimportant thing for me to know, because over the course of my life, there's no guarantee that like 2 years later I'd still be there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Big George says, wow, Arizona's almost as old as Randy. What was Arizona like back in the territorial days, Randy?
Oh, no.
Next question.
Oh, Ralph from Harmon Solar says, he meant to say things of God.
Of God. All
I
right.
didn't think God had things. Seems kind of, never came across materialistic to me, Ralph. So I don't know which things are God's. Did he like put his name on things? I can't handle anybody on this show talking about the things of God.
Oh,
Does he have a cubby? I just don't.
Why? I mean, if you exist, can we not talk about you? What are we doing?
Technically, I think everything's God's if he wants it.
That's true. That's true. If you made everything, then it's
Right.
all yours.
True.
So if we're talking about anything we like, we're already talking about things of God. What I
I feel like a lot of the artwork I made as a child, God's like, you can keep that. I don't need that. You keep that. That's yours. So I don't know. Moist One says, talk about stuffed crust. And that's where we leave it.
Yep.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
It's fun to put on jeans that you couldn't get into 6 months ago.
Every morning, I look forward to getting on the scale.
For anybody who's struggling with their weight, it's a godsend.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to trylifemd.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at trylifemd.com. That's TRYLIFEMD.com.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Wings are here.
Oh, from?
No, I'd never order from anymore. Popeyes now has wings in 5 flavors. Ghost pepper, roasted garlic parmesan, sweet and spicy, signature hot, and honey barbecue. Marinated in Louisiana spices, hand battered and flipped. Makes no sense they're $5.99 for 6 pieces. Taste them.
Crunchy outside.
And juicy inside.
Consider me a convert.
That's the most romantic thing you've said to me all month.
We don't make sense. We make chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Price may vary.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Saw some video of some. I don't know if they are police wearing chief gear or if they were just fans, but it looks like a couple civilians tackled one of the gunmen and took him down hardcore onto the ground and then held him there until other cops could get there. So I don't know if they were cops that did it or not, but that was some pretty brave stuff I just saw. So more videos will come out as time goes by. 888-368-1580. Ralph from Harmon Solar says, don't know if anyone else has this, but if I were to buy my wife a Valentine's Day present or try to say happy Valentine's Day or take her to a Valentine's Day dinner, she'd get pissed. She hates Valentine's for the phoniness it brings. By the way, you're all heathens. Oh, okay. Well, Ralph.
For the phoniness it brings?
I am now. It wasn't always.
Randy's not a heathen. I don't know. Back to the other thing. Does anybody else have spouses who hate Valentine's Day? You know,
Ralph's wife is Pippi is the first one I've ever heard of this says that she hates Valentine's Day.
Maybe she just hates it when Ralph tries to gets all mushy on it. Maybe
yeah.
it's just a. It
It's
could have
too-
more to do with you, Ralph.
It's
but-
too sharp a turn.
I can hear Ralph now. Hey, Pippi, you know what day it is, right?
And it's the day
She's
I
like-
say, "Get off me, Ralph."
Yeah.
That's the day it is.
Pretty straightforward.
She's like, "I've had the kids I need. You're just super. I don't need you anymore." Hey, so does anybody else out there have people? I know a lot of men can't stand it. I know a lot of men can't stand it.
Yeah,
but
men
I've
can't
never
stand
heard
it,
of
but,
women not standing.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys, especially single guys, hate the thing.
Is that just out of like they're bummed out?
Who was it that was angry? I was speaking to him one time. Who was that? I can't think of their name. Just a stupid Hallmark holiday. It was invented by Hallmark, and that's all. And then we don't celebrate it. I was like, really? I tell my wife I love her every year, every day. I don't
Yeah,
have
that
to do
whole
it
thing
once
where-
a year on a special day.
Yeah, it's Valentine's every day. Well, don't start lying. That's not true either. You know, you have an opportunity for it to be, but it doesn't mean that it is. You know, you just do the best you can, live your life, and just make sure, no matter how things go, good or bad, that you're all still good at the end of it. That's all. I don't know, but I don't know. Oh, look, beer nuts. My wife hates Valentine's Day.
Really?
Yeah, I'll buy her roses on the 15th for like a half the price. So she's cheap. Does she hate it because she's cheap, or do women maybe start to hate Valentine's Day when they get hosed? Ralph comes up with the silk rose that still has the 7-Eleven price tag on it, and then she's like, you know what? Forget it. I hate Valentine's Day.
Got to get that sticker off. That's just a rookie mistake, honestly.
Ooh. Glendale Runner just sent a picture over of some Pendleton whiskey. And it says, was just re-gifted this bottle of whiskey by my company's accountant. Randy, have you tried it? I'm usually a Jack Daniels man.
Not a Pendleton guy myself. I've tried it. It's not my flavor profile, but
what's the flavor on that?
Enjoy. For me, it's a little spicy. Pendleton's a
Really?
little spicy. Yeah.
I hear it has exceptionally rich taste and uncommonly smooth finish. Because that's what's on the label right there.
I guess. I guess that
It's
that
glacier
depends.
water, Randy.
Okay. All right.
Spicy in what way?
I can't put my finger on it. It's like a peppery, spicy type of. When I first drank it, it was very. I'll have to try it again. It's been so long.
That is kind of funny though. Glendale Runner, he gets re-gifted. He's like the same bottle of whiskey. Oh, Watermelon says my wife is good with Valentine's Day. I learned my lesson though. She always says, "Let's not exchange gifts." Inevitably, she always has something. So stay prepared.
Yep.
Yeah. Can I just remind every man listening, when she says, "You don't have to get me anything," you have to get her something. You can't go empty-handed. Here's the thing: she don't mean it. And if you show up with something when she says don't show up with something, she's not going to be angry. She's going, "Oh, you, trust me, you have to show up with something." Women, when they say this, especially about the fourth, what is Valentine's Day?
Yeah,
they lie.
That explains the number of people I've dated.
Yep.
I'm very big on mean what you say and say what you mean. If you don't want something, then say that. But if you actually do want something, don't tell me not to get something.
Trust
because
me.
if I show up with nothing,
Always
I'm gonna be real
show up
mad.
with something, even if you really think they mean it. Show up with something. Seriously,
yeah, I can't do that.
You show up with something on Valentine's Day. You show up with something on your anniversary, and you show up with something on Christmas. You show up with something on their birthday. Those are the must ones. Those you have to, even if they say don't. Well, at least get something small, but never go empty-handed. Never.
Like, because the issue here is if the plan was for me to get something and you
See, that's
say
it.
get nothing, now you're just being ridiculous because you're not being
You're
straightforward.
using your intellect, which is a mistake when dealing with women.
I found that
right now.
I found that to
you
not
can't-
be
yeah.
true.
Take my
If you're
direction.
dating a woman that is compatible with you,
Take my direction.
It's in the
Trust me.
Constitution. Does he not have a copy of the Constitution?
I have a copy.
Is that in there?
You need. I think
Did
it
I
is.
put that in there? That makes sense if I did.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did. Always show up with something, even if she says no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Coom Coom says, I work at a 2 to 10 ratio of women to men at work, and they give me all their flowers and balloons for my missus. So technically, I don't get her nothing. Why do they give you all their flowers and balloons and stuff?
My question is, why are you admitting that on radio?
What's the ratio?
Nobody knows who Coom Coom is.
Yeah. He's what was the ratio again?
This is non de plume. 2 to 10. I don't know which way that goes. Is it 10 women for every 2 men, which would be 5 to 1, or yeah? Which way does that work? I think is it a lot more women than you? I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's what it
5 to
has
1.
to be. Just
you realize 5
because
to 1 is a more appropriate ratio than 2 to 10.
Yeah, that's you got to reduce that fraction down.
There's
there,
a bunch of chicks where I work.
But well, you could have just said that too. Yeah,
5 to 1 with the broads. Yeah.
Oh my God. A couple of ladies. There's quite a bit more ladies where I hang out working.
Look at all the skirts in there.
1962. Here we are.
Puts the lotion in the basket. Says Ash Wednesday. It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again. Yeah. Well, you would say that puts the lotion in the basket. Donnie says, "Hey, big game in Tempe tonight. Wild versus Coyote. You guys got any tickets? No, but we do have tickets for something else. And I'm glad you reminded me because I was about to forget. Here it is. We've got tickets for tonight's game. We got 4 tickets and a parking pass. Is that right, Keon? Ron was telling me about this on the phone, but I just want to make sure I got it right.
We have 4 tickets and 1 parking pass.
So here's what we're going to do.
Tonight's game what?
It's against
ASU,
Oregon State, 7 p.m.
ASU basketball versus Oregon State, 7 p.m. So you've got to say, yes, I can go to tonight's game, and I will set you up with the tickets and the parking pass. There's 4 tickets and a parking pass. If you only need 2 tickets, well, you can take that and the parking pass. We'll try to give the other 2 tickets to somebody else. Up to you. Do you want them to call or should we have them text in?
Well, it might be easier to have them text in. I don't mind doing the calls, but sometimes people will call and then not know whether or not they can go to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when we have it the day of.
Look, if you can't go to the game, don't call.
Don't pick up the phone. But there's sometimes it happens.
So should I just have them text in?
Yeah, that way the ones that really, really want to can just.
All right. So if you want to go to tonight's ASU basketball game, I'm not even saying it's a contest. It's going to be a first come, first serve thing. So the first text I see, I'll probably just give it to you. So text it in 888-368-1580 if you want to go to tonight's ASU versus Oregon State basketball game, but only if you can actually use the tickets.
Yes.
Could you please don't waste the tickets?
It doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I transfer the tickets and then they don't get accepted because whoever got tickets they couldn't actually use.
We know when that happens, and then we talk about it, and then we judge you. So only if you can use the tickets, text in 888-368-1580. Beer Nut says, my wife prefers me to put the money in like stocks or savings. First time I got her a Valentine, she literally said, I ain't no basic bitch. Good Lord.
Wow.
All right.
You have to know who you're with. That's the best advice.
She seems classy. Scratch Me Because says, Keon, it's like I used to tell my kids, do what I mean, not what I say. Well, see that.
Yeah,
I
but
agree
here's the
with
thing:
Keon
you can't
90% of that.
You can't choose your kids. I can choose who I'm dating.
God, I wish I could have chose my kids.
If you're not going to be straightforward, that's okay. I will date somebody who will be.
Moist One says, I don't know about you, but I always bring something, even when I'm bringing nothing. You'll never leave them empty-handed if you do it right. Oh, geez, that was probably dirty. Berg says, when you almost died from a coma, et cetera, my wife, she's grateful I'm here for Valentine's. Health has been terrible last week. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Berg. Sorry to hear that, but it's a Valentine's that you get to be there to celebrate it with her. So sorry to hear you're having a rough one, man. I got some ticket texts coming in. Funny, these are texters who've never texted before, a bunch of them. And then lacrosse guy says, I cannot use the tickets. Didn't
Great,
ask
do
you
not
that.
text.
Yeah, don't text. I don't. You're clogging up the line, lacrosse guy.
For people who could use the tickets.
The heck, man. Plus the lotion in the basket says, I can use the tickets. Great seats, can't go. Oh, wait, I don't understand. Are you asking for the? Okay, you don't get them. You weren't first anyway. We'll sort this out during the break here. All right, so here's the deal. When we come back, we're going to talk some Phoenix Suns. They had a back-to-back thing happen there. They played last night, and they're going to play again tonight. It doesn't happen very often in the NBA, does it?
It happens often enough. They try to spread it out, though, across all the teams, so it doesn't happen to any one team too often.
Well, the great part is, won the game that was harder, then you get to kind of coast through that game tonight. And I'll explain why if you don't already know what I'm saying, okay? Come on back for hour two. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn.
That's right.
Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get the 2023 Nissan Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines. Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Auto Pacific segmentation, excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2023 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2023 Nissan Rogue. As shown, Nissan Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive, 28 city, 34 highway. Actual mileage may vary.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And we were very surprised to hear from Ralph from Harmon Solar saying that his wife just can't stand the Valentine's Day. It's a very rare thing. And so she has texted in to explain. She says, I'm all for giving someone a gift from the heart, but special days bring gifts are heavy prompting and commercial manipulation. I'd rather receive a small gift on a random day than one given out of duty. She said duty. It has nothing to do with barf and loathing for Ralph. So there you go. That's her answer on that.
It's nothing to do with barf and loathing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I have another question, Pippi. When you saying a little something, were you talking about Ralph?
Clearly. I'm still getting the information, Keon, from we're actually two new texters to the text line. I'm still waiting on their information to send over to you.
Okay.
So that you can give them. So I'm not going to say the name, but yes, we've already given away 2 tickets and a parking pass to one person and waiting on the information from the other. So I'm going to text. Can I text that over to you? You seem hip.
Yeah, you can.
You seem like you've got it together, with your technical stuff.
Yeah, I've got it. If you text it to me, I'll be able to. I'll be able to
doing
work
this
with that.
again.
Doing
Are we
what?
doing this again?
Doing what?
This hip lingo thing? Is this what
No,
we're
no,
doing
no, we're not
again?
trying to do lingo. I'm just trying to say that here's the thing. The other day, Michael Potter from GCU, he wanted to send me some audio. And he's like, hey, I got to send you some audio. Okay, for the broadcast. Yeah. And he texted it to me. I'm like, what are you doing texting this to me? Like, just says, why can't you just email that to me like normal people do? He's like, well, I texted to Keon and I texted to Cameron and they're able to handle it. Well, yeah, I mean, but what do you, why would you text it? Because then I got to go from the phone to a computer. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have to anyway.
Yeah.
I end up emailing it to myself is what I do.
All Potter's doing is adding an extra step, but he tried to make me feel like, hey, old man, you don't know how to use technology.
One day he texted it, and I was like, that works, I guess. So I just did it. I mean,
see, you guys have enabled him because he's as old as we are.
Oh yeah,
he's as old as I am.
Well,
and he's all trying to make it seem like you've enabled him.
Yeah,
probably.
You gotta tell him.
Yeah, I mean, if to me, it's just like if it's easier to you to send it that way, I have no problem getting it. So I think he does the interview on his phone. So if it's easier to just send it that way since you're already on your phone, okay.
Everybody's got email on their phone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, whatever. I just sort of like, well, okay, fine. I says, yeah, you can email, you can text them, but for now on, you email me. Don't give me an extra step. Desert Viking says, sorry, I'm late to the party this week, guys. I've been mopping up my Swifty Bowl tears and walking the yellow brick road to work every day. Wait, I don't understand. You're a Vikings fan. So what were you? Did you bet on the 49ers or something? Why do you care?
There shouldn't be any tears for you. Your team wasn't involved.
Big George says, Randy, I was just kidding about you being very old. I love you.
Yes, I know you love me. That's why I just said next question.
We love you, but we're not in love with you, George.
He
says, pitchers and catchers reporting today for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I understand a lot of them have already been at the camp out there in Scottsdale. So
seems early. This is just like OTAs for baseball players, right?
Well,
it's not spring training proper.
It is spring training. Technically, the games don't start until next week or the week after. I think that it's 2 weeks before the games start because pitchers and catchers report early and they go through conditioning and throwing and physicals and stuff like that, and then all the players get there. And they go through their check-in process, and then they start practicing ground ball, stuff like that, kind of get ready, and then they start playing games right away. So about 2 weeks, we'll see spring training practices starting.
Of course, now that I've said what I said about Potter, I just texted Keon the winner's information.
I guess I probably could have emailed that. That would have made it easier for you.
I mean, it's not because I still have to, type it in.
Yeah, but if you type it wrong, if I'd emailed it to you, you could have copied and pasted it. See what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
I just made you do exactly what I was complaining about.
That's all right. I'm pretty flexible. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, you quit enabling Potter though. That's all.
Yeah.
You
Reserve
can
that
enable
for
me.
Jeffrey.
I sign off on your time card.
Reserve that for
So,
Jeffrey.
yeah.
But not Potter.
Yeah.
My paycheck crosses your desk, so a little
Just say
relationship's just a little different.
Desert Viking says, well, if you don't remember, I had a car on the line and you really thought that you were going to win a car from me? I would never offered a car if I thought aliens were going to come and take Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift away in it. If I thought there was ever a chance of that happening, I would have never said, if that happens, I'll give you a car.
That's
so you were the one that was going to win the car.
That makes it worse because you really thought the aliens were coming.
Yeah.
He's like, yep, it didn't come through. So Yellow Brick Road it is.
They haven't made themselves plainly visible to most people throughout history. But on the day of the Super Bowl, with the most eyeballs watching that place, they were finally going to do it so you could win a car.
Do you
Why?
really walk to work, Desert Viking?
I think he's pulling your leg.
Here's the thing. If you walk to work in 10 speeds, that you can get them cheap. Get a car, you get a bike. At least it's better than walking, right? And then
I don't know. Walking's pretty good for you.
Oh, listen, no, man. When I was I left home at an early age. Okay.
Yes.
And so to get to my job, I had a 10 speed. I got everywhere I needed to go on a 10 speed. And what I do is I'd take a shower and then I'd comb my hair. Then when I'd get out on the roads of Arizona on the 10 speed, feathered my hair perfectly for the 80s, and I'd show up to work. And that's how you knew I was coming. You'd hear this.
Yeah.
That was it. And I'll tell you what, I've never been in better shape since. Man, the worst thing that ever happened to my body was getting a car. You know what I mean? People on bikes are in very good shape. Yeah. Gamecock says, seems like the Dodgers always have catchers out there. Hey, well, I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but I saw the Ohtani who's hitting the home run dingers in batting practice, which is not hard to do, I guess, but it just shows his motion. He's getting ready to DH.
Yeah, he's swinging very well. He says he feels good. The elbow is not a factor at this point, and they're going to keep him away from throwing the ball for quite a while, and they're going to keep that elbow protected. And then maybe halfway, 3/4 away through the season, you'll start to see him throwing the ball, bullpen sessions, things like that. He's got a long way to go yet.
And who's that? The other guy they got. The other guy they got. The new pitcher. What's his name?
Kawasaki.
Yakamuro or
Yamashito Kawasaki.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, he evidently has been scaring people. He's so good. He out there practicing. I don't want to talk about the Dodgers anymore.
Well, I mean, it's good that he's scaring people. Then, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Just saying. I don't know why that came up. I'm kind of wishing it didn't. Kind of wishing it didn't.
All right.
Moist One says the first games are next Thursday and Friday. What? Spring training starts in February now?
Well, yeah. I mean, they get going pretty quick.
Started in the regular season starts in April, but I thought spring training started in March.
March 30th, I think, is the first baseball game, first official major league game.
Like actual start of the season?
Yeah. I think March 30. I think.
What the hell happened? It used to be in April.
Well, it's not. It's March 30th now.
So I can't keep track of anything. And people wonder why I can't tell anybody's birthday. Everything changes all the time. How am I supposed to keep track of things? I give up. Let's talk about last night's Suns game. The Suns beat the Sacramento Kings 130-125, and that was great. Eric Gordon stepped up and did his thing, starting for Bradley Beal, who 5 minutes into the game, my hamstring. So now he's out for 3 or 4 months. I don't know. What's the story on Bradley Beal?
What I was reading was it actually wasn't that bad, but they're just like, look, the All-Star break is basically this weekend. just sit out. You know, we'll get through the All-Star break and then we'll figure out where you are when you come back. It doesn't seem like it's that bad of a hamstring strain.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I mean, he's out there with his Phantom of the Night mask on for his nose. Now he's got hamstrings.
Phantom of the Night.
Phantom of the Opera, you know.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So that's okay. I'm happier hearing that. I'm happier to hear it's not that serious, because if we're going to do anything, we're going to need everybody. But yeah, last night, I guess they couldn't get the full Sabonis. I couldn't get into fully erect Sabonis. And,
you mean that the Kings couldn't get a fully erect Sabonis?
Yeah. I mean, he had a great night. The third straight triple double, 35 points, 18 rebounds, 12 assists, but it wasn't enough. So his Sabonis came up short. Anyway, so now we got the injured Beal going into tonight's game, but it's okay. Nobody needs to start this game. The bench can play this game. The bench alone should play this game.
I don't know about that.
Because Monty and the Pistons are in town. So,
wow.
Let some fans step in, dude. Just throw them in there.
Boy.
Oh no.
Do whatever you want.
I don't think that the Pistons are going to lose to just anybody, but
the spread is 13.5.
Look,
13.5.
They are still the Pistons. Don't get me wrong.
The bench.
I don't know if you can just say your bench is going to beat the Pistons, because the thing that the Pistons have, for the reason why they've been losing to everybody, is they are losing to actual starting rosters. Theirs is just very bad. They've been doing a little bit better since the trade deadline, but look, they're still the Pistons. Like, a one trade deadline is not going to make them a radically different team, and it hasn't.
Hey, did you send those people that email yet?
Not yet.
They're asking. It's like, hey, where's the email? People are just got to make sure this is legit before they go pick people up, I guess. So
gotcha. All right. Well,
you can just take care of that right now. That'd be good. I know you're waiting on the next break, but this guy means business. Wally ain't screwing around, Keon. He needs them tickets.
I'll see what I can do.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, if I'm not mistaken, the games are starting earlier in spring training now because the baseball is extended for the World Series to start later in October and then go into November.
Maybe. Yeah. They don't need a lot of time. A lot of these guys spend the off season in batting cages and throwing and conditioning. So, I mean, they walk into camp. It's basically, getting assigned stuff, having a physical to make sure everybody's in good shape. Run through some administrative stuff. Really not a whole lot. I mean, they come in kind of plug and play, ready to go. So they basically go out for a few days and do some stretching and throwing the ball around, and meeting new teammates, that sort of thing. So it's not that big of a major issue for major league teams to get going quickly.
So, hey, I'm going to ask these new texters who won the prize, the prizes, the tickets. Wally, how long have you been listening to the show? I'm just kind of curious. And if today was your first day, I'm not going to be upset. Don't worry. Just tell the truth. I'm just kind of curious. So, Wally, how long have you been listening? And Steven, how long have you been listening? Just curious, because all of a sudden, the first two texts we got were unnamed texters. So
how about that?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So, I'm not gonna give you a hard time or nothing. I'm just curious.
Right.
888-368-1580. So tonight, let's see, 7:00, and yes, they are at home against the Pistons. Like we said earlier, though, Arizona State is at home against Oregon State. We gave away those tickets, which hopefully you guys have a good time tonight. I feel pretty good about the chances of ASU tonight, because as bad as ASU has been, Oregon State has been a little bit worse. In fact, they actually have the over-under. They have the point spread 6.5 in favor of ASU. So, I mean, there's no gimmies with ASU this year as far as they go as a basketball team. But I kind of like your chances to be entertained and get to walk out of there happy because they got to win. So
I just wonder what ASU basketball needs to do. I mean, Bobby Hurley clearly he's had a rough stretch of it here lately. And I know he just signed an extension last year. So I wonder if he's under a bit of a bit of pressure to go into the final Pac-12 tournament and have a good showing. I'm thinking that because it seems like the ASU men's basketball team's just been quite a bit lackluster this year.
Here's the thing. If there was pressure, it's self-inflicted because Ray Anderson is a lame duck. I don't think we have a new athletic director for ASU, and Crow don't care. Ray Anderson don't care. Hurley's just sort of, well, I'll keep doing this till somebody else shows up, So I don't know that he feels any pressure at this moment. The pressure comes when the new AD shows up and decides what's going to happen next. If you listen to Big George, Bobby Hurley's the problem. He must go. To anybody else, he wants to fire everybody. So I don't know.
Well,
Keon could probably tell us, but are you still working on the tickets there? Or
yeah, I'm almost done. I'm about to send the parking pass here.
God, you're making a career out of this. All right. When you're ready to talk some college basketball, just come on back. So, I think that for Bobby Hurley, that's going to be, he's just sort of like, well, I'm just doing my thing here. I don't think he's trying to lose.
No, I don't think he's trying to lose at all.
They're trying to win.
I'm just wondering why he can't get some talent. I mean, he's Bobby Hurley after all. Everybody knows his history as a player. Everybody knows, his pedigree as a basketball player, and it just seems like we can't seem to get the right people in here to have a great season. I mean, it's been kind of hit and miss, up and down, sort of like a roller coaster. And this year seems to be just.
Do you know why?
I can't put my finger on it. It's lackluster.
No, I'll tell you why you can't get talent here because ASU, not known as a basketball school. That's why.
Yeah,
and
this is Bobby effing Hurley.
If the program is starting to slide under Bobby effing Hurley, people are going to be like, maybe I'm not going that way. Maybe I'm not going to go in that direction. So if you're asking about talent, I mean, I don't know.
I just
Keon would know.
I feel bad. Sorry, I feel bad for ASU basketball because I know there's a lot of fans of it. It's just like we just can't seem to get the right chemistry. We can't seem to get the right team in here to do some work.
Well, Keon had said in the past that maybe you have the right players. Maybe it's the bad coaching. Oh, Keon's ready to talk college basketball now.
I guess.
All right, Keon, go ahead. So what's the deal with Bobby Hurley and ASU?
It's.
But first, we have to take a break. When we come back, well, you just took too damn long, Keon. We'll pick this up when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's not just a job. It's shaping the heart of our city. The City of Chandler's Public Works and Utilities Department is the driving force behind our city's success. We invest in you with continued training, benefits, and a supportive team environment where career advancement is in your future. Learn more at jointeamchandler.com. Be a part of something bigger. This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
Going to college and not acquiring debt is possible with the help of the U.S. Army. You'll be able to choose the career you want and receive help to pay for your full tuition. There are also reimbursements for student loans and GI Bill benefits. In the U.S. Army, your mission will be to learn. Learn how you can be all you can be at goarmy.com/AIA Sports. That's goarmy.com/AIA Sports.
The Fanatic is your home for NCAA men's basketball.
Thursday night, GCU is at home to take on Utah Tech. Tip time at 7 p.m. from the arena here in Phoenix. Saturday, Marquette is in action at UConn at 12:45.
Tune in for all the drama, action, excitement.
You can feel the madness
of college basketball. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for March Madness.
Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So, all right, Keon, everybody's got their tickets now. Are we all set there for the ASU game tonight?
We are all good.
All right, so Wally and Steven, check your emails. So we were talking about the ASU and what the hell is going on here and why we can't seem to get a team, some wins going and that sort of thing. And I said, well, maybe Bobby Hurley. I know George wants to fire Bobby Hurley. And then the other part is, well, maybe we can't get good players in here because we're not typically a basketball school. And when people know that, maybe they're like, well, I'm not going there. I don't care if Bobby effing Hurley is there. So yeah, Randy and I have no idea what we're talking about. So maybe can you help us out here? What's going on with ASU basketball and Bobby Hurley and stuff?
I honestly, I think it's just recruiting is just kind of a big issue because when they're able to get talented players and they have a good team, they at least make the tournament. Now, you want them to make more noise in the tournament than just show up, but they've been able to do that. The problem is that since Bobby Hurley's been here since 2015, only gone to the tournament 3 times.
All right, so you're saying because Bobby Hurley coaches them to the tournament, but then they go nowhere, that other players see that and they say, well, then I'm not going over there.
Yeah, it's a combination of you're not doing anything when you get to the tournament. Most seasons ASU is maybe on the bubble, but they're not quite a team that you would shoe in to the tournament. People want to play meaningful basketball in March. You want to play games that matter, and it does affect recruiting. And unfortunately, I think that's been a giant issue because you need talent. Sorry, Randy.
But that's you're okay. This is what I'm thinking, though. I mean, it says Bobby Hurley. Everybody knows his pedigree. He knows him from Duke basketball. I mean, he was a Tar Heel killer back in the day. I mean, they still talk about him at North Carolina, saying Bobby F. and Hurley. This is a guy that had a great impact on the game of basketball. His brother is a championship basketball head coach. And wouldn't you think that guys would want to come learn from Bobby Hurley? It seems like ASU, one of the larger universities in the country, cannot seem to get over this recruiting, hurdle. They can't seem to score the really big talent. I mean, go to Tuscaloosa. That's not a big campus there, man. That's not a very big campus. And Alabama's always got 5-star, 4-star players going to that school. And ASU, student population is 70,000 plus, and we can't get them to come here.
Yeah, I don't know without knowing the inner workings of ASU what it would take to make sure that you have enough money in that program to be able to attract people, whether it's the facilities. Because the thing with Alabama is they may not be a very big campus, but when it comes to their sports and their athletics, that's where they're pushing all of their money. It's important to them. So they put the money up front to make sure that that's something that's attractive. A recruit walks into, one of the athletic facilities in Tuscaloosa and they get the feeling like I have to be here. I can't leave. That has to be a thing at ASU.
I've been out of ASU.
We got
I've seen
hot girls. Is that
that helps, but
part of it, yeah.
But if it's between ASU and another school that's got really attractive women, guess what?
I mean,
then you lose.
I have been in the football athletic area. I've been in the basketball athletic area. I've seen everything. I've seen their training area, their weightlifting. It's world class, and they've got some of the best equipment out there, and they've got a training staff that is world class. You would think that these athletes would want to come here to ASU. The weather's great. I mean, yeah, it's hot, but you got great facilities, and it just doesn't seem to happen.
I'll use my school at Texas as an example. They had Shaka Smart as a basketball coach, and they eventually fired him because Shaka Smart was not going as far as you would think a school with all the resources and money like Texas has. Well, Shaka Smart's gone back to a Group of 5 school. He's at Marquette now, and he's right back to being the guy that they hired.
What, they're number 4, right? I mean,
yeah. And so the thing is, like, there's just sometimes a fit where if you have a good fit with a school, I think that Shaka Smart, the schools of that size, kind of narrow down the list of all the people you try to pursue when you're recruiting. Sometimes guys get caught up in you're trying to get all the 5 stars and 4 stars. And then when a bunch of them say no to you, you're kind of stuck with what's left, as opposed to going after players who are just a fit for your program and a fit for your school in the first place. And I think that maybe Bobby Hurley suffers a little bit from that.
See, I think that's maybe part of the problem, because I remember back, and I don't know, Keon, if you were even cognizant of sports at this time, but when John Cooper was here, ASU football turned around. ASU football started to make some waves in the national headlines. ASU football won in the Rose Bowl, and they had some momentum. They were getting some top recruits. Then John Cooper left, go to Ohio State. Game over. Everything just kind of falls apart from there.
Hamilton Porter says they also want exposure to get to the next level. Mediocre team, mediocre basketball conference doesn't exactly scream national exposure.
Well, they're going to Big 12 next season, so we'll see what happens.
Scoozer says it's because ASU does not have the NIL money. That's a known Michael Crow problem. What they do have goes to football, and even less goes to the basketball.
And that's not the priority to a degree. That does make a lot of sense.
So let's talk about the current college basketball rankings. Spoiler alert, ASU's not in it. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at where things are now. So there has been some movement up and down on that top 25. Just want to get your thoughts on all that, Keon.
Yeah, I mean, our top 5, it's more or less.
Let's talk about the top 4. We don't need to talk about the top 5. Just the 4.
Just the 4.
Just
all
the
right.
top 4.
Marquette, we just mentioned, Houston, Purdue, and UConn, and they've been kind of the 4 teams that have separated themselves from everybody.
6 through 10. 6 through 10.
I think that Kansas at 6.
North Carolina's at 6.
Kansas is at 6, North Carolina is at 7, and Tennessee is at 8. And all of those teams have dipped lately with the losses that they have. Am I not looking at the right?
Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. I just printed this up today. It shows Tennessee is
you got UConn at 1, Purdue at 2.
No,
Houston
I got
at
Purdue
3.
at 1, UConn at 2, Houston at 3.
Well, at CBSSports.com, the current college basketball
When
rankings.
did they update this? Because I just got this
they
yesterday.
update
once a week.
They updated on the 12th.
I got this yesterday.
Update. Yeah, so you should have it. I don't know. I'm on the on their website, and I've got Kansas 6, North Carolina 7, Tennessee 8.
Go with what you have then.
And they've all
I'll catch up.
Kansas, North Carolina, and Tennessee all tumbled down. Tennessee got beat up. So them at 8 makes all the sense in the world, because they were hanging around the top 5 for a while.
Did you perhaps, Jeffrey, because there's 2 polls out there, you got to be careful. Do you want the AP top 25 or the coaches poll? The AP top 25 is pretty much what everybody
I don't know where I got it, but now I see the AP 25 and the coaches poll side by side.
Yeah, and
on
they
CBSSports.com. Okay,
yeah, they differ. Yeah.
I don't know where I got this, but how much you want to bet I got it from the ESPN?
All the money in the world. Anyway, Also, GCU got 13 votes this time, so they kind of fell back, and now they're getting back to having more attention as they've gotten back to their winning ways. So
yeah,
it was a pretty eventful weekend, and a bunch of teams made lives for themselves a little bit more difficult. Tennessee and Kansas in particular, I think, had winnable games, but they didn't handle their business, so down they go.
Who looks unbeatable right now to you? Who looks like the team to beat?
Who looks like the team to beat? I would say obviously UConn at 1, just because they're such a well-rounded team. They can beat you in so many different ways. It's just difficult to game plan for what they do. And I also think Houston, because of how physical they are, when you have to play them and it's a one-off game, I don't think that it's possible to prepare for what that team wants to bring to the table. They want to make everything a bar fight. They just want to make you suffer while you're trying to figure out how to play them. And they play really good defense. They take away all of the space from shooters. I would say UConn and Houston are the two teams that stand out to me. I think Purdue's a really good team, but they're not unbeatable.
Yeah, they're not super scary to you, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of what can you do to take Zach Edey out of the game is what makes Purdue either beatable or not beatable. If you can't figure out a way to take Zach Edey out of his comfort zone, get him to play more outside of the paint, then you're losing. But if you can do that, and there are some teams in the tournament that can, Purdue's not as scary to those teams.
So UConn and Houston, those are guys who go deep and probably take the thing, in your opinion. Who's maybe a little further down the list where you're like, wow, they should be much higher than where they are, or they're going to do a lot more damage than people will give them credit for?
Yeah, I would say a South Carolina has played really good basketball so far this season. I don't know. They find ways to be able to score the basketball all over the place, inside, outside. They're kind of comfortable shooting the ball from anywhere, but they're ranked 11th, and I don't get it. I just don't understand why they're not seen as better. I know that they don't have that basketball school reputation, but it doesn't matter. This year they've been really good.
So, all right. So how much longer do we have till March Madness? When does that start? That's like in a month, right? Like a month from now? The March Madness?
Yeah, basically a month from now, we're going to start getting all the conference tournaments getting played, and then we're going to jump right into the big dance.
All right. We have no dance card at ASU, but I think that GCU has a chance to do the Mamba.
This is the thing that I'm actually worried about with ASU, which is that when people think of Phoenix basketball, they're going to think of the Lopes before they think of the Sun Devils. That's the dangerous situation that they're in right now. Because GCU, they're in the tournament every year over the last 3 years, essentially. I think they missed one, but they've gone to the tournament as many times in the last 4 years as Bobby Hurley has his entire time at ASU. Like, that's not good at all.
So maybe that'll help shame and inspire ASU to do better. And listen, and if GCU ends up being the basketball juggernaut of the Valley, so be it. At least somebody's winning. Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get themselves, it looks like, a nice enough seeding that getting out of the first round of the tournament is not only not impossible, it's a good chance.
And next thing you know, the GC will be like, we just can't find any room on our schedule for you guys. so maybe next year.
That's how you'll know that you're no longer big brother in the city.
Ben George says, question for Keon Rose, 1580 The Fanatic. Do you think GCU is in a spot where they don't need to win the WAC conference to still make the NCAA tournament?
It's possible, but I wouldn't push it. When you're in the Western Athletic Conference, you should win that conference if you're the best team in it, and that's how they're going to look at you to get in. And I think GCU is much better than the other teams in this conference, so there's no reason it should even come to that.
Hefty Lefty says Highlighter only has one poll. It's not the kind of polls we're talking about, Hefty. Bruno Baller says, looks like Selection Sunday will be on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th this year. Oh, are you kidding me?
That's pretty fun.
That's actually not bad.
While you wait for your team to get chosen to go in the tournament, you get nice and liquored up.
Good and saucy.
I'm not opposed to that as an idea, honestly. I never thought about it before.
The SEC championship game is that day. I don't know what other games are that day, but
Yeah, usually you try to have your conference championships wrapped up by Saturday, but some of the tournaments do expand all the way out to Sunday, and then they finish the tournaments on Sunday morning, and then you get the bracket selection that afternoon.
GCU will be in the middle of the WAC tournament. We got the last Pac-12 tournament that ends up on Saturday, the 16th of March, and then the Big East, and just you're right. There's just going to be tons and tons of these tournaments happening around that time to try to get it sorted out before Selection Sunday. Turd Ferguson says, curious how many ASU grads like myself are now becoming bigger Lopes fans. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah,
that is a good question.
Because we don't really have a rivalry built up between the two schools, so you can root for one or the other or both. I mean,
well, Randy and I have a long history with GCU, and as well as ASU, so you can appreciate both. It doesn't matter where you went. It just what matters is like you can see and appreciate. Hey, it's another one from the Valley. All right, good for you, GCU. Good for you, ASU. When applicable. 888-368-1580. So I guess we got a month. Is this where the month of really good basketball comes? Because everybody's now realizing fight or die.
Well, yeah, I mean the last month, basically, the last couple of weeks in particular, whenever it was we started conference play, that's when the basketball got really good, because everybody knows that you start having it doesn't matter what your record was before. You have a poor conference record, you're not going anywhere. And then on top of that, depending on how your conference ranks things, you may not even make your conference tournament. And at that point, you have no shot. You're just not getting in. So, that's where the basketball starts to get really good.
Turd Ferguson says the in-stadium experience at GCU kills ASU. Turd, the GCU experience at the stadium kills everybody else. I don't know that. I mean, Rick Pitino walked in there and just like, this is insane. I mean, it kills everybody else. GCU, what they've created there is something special and different.
Michael Potter has talked about the number of coaches that come into GCU, see the havoc, and they're like, wow.
No, but Rick Pitino got people hookers. And then he saw what GCU did and says, this is unbelievable. That's a good point. You really got to focus on the whole story here, man. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we have other assorted sports things to talk about. We'll probably talk a little football here in a little bit, too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
1580 The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Paul the Plug says GCU is good because they don't have Arizona or Phoenix in their name. Don't think that's really accurate, but I also can't say it's inaccurate. Raven Kid says, my question is, how long do we see GCU continued dominance until they think about moving to one of the bigger conferences, you know, where they don't have to worry about winning the conference to make the big dance?
Well, the thing is, it's not really a worry if you can find a way to be the best team in that conference by a lot every year. Like if you look at Gonzaga, they're kind of the blueprint on this. They're in the West Coast Conference. Generally speaking, Gonzaga is so good that they don't really have to worry about making the tournament, but they're so much better than everybody. Again, usually, not this year, but usually they're so much better than everybody. They beat everybody and just make the tournament. And then it's about, are you the one seed or not? That's the conversation Gonzaga has. And you can tell by the way that GCU has put money into that athletic program. It's important to them that they have a similar situation where they want to be a school where they're not trying to figure out if we make the tournament, but if winning our conference makes us a 2 seed, a 3 seed, like that's what they want to do every single year. And they're off to a good start.
Hurry Harry says, Keon, totally off subject. Forgive me. I'm fairly new to listening to 1580. You guys do a great job, by the way. Where are you from? The way you say tournament sounds like you might be from another region.
I've lived in too many regions to count.
How do you say tournament? Let me hear you say tournament.
I say tournament. I don't.
Same way I say tournament.
I don't know. But the thing is, I now that I'm aware of it, I'm just pronouncing it the way I think I am when I'm paying attention. But if I'm not paying attention, I pronounce all kinds of words in a very wide variety of ways, and I've been called on it a number of times. I'm not really paying that close attention. So
you've been an East Coaster, you've been a Southerner, you've been a Texaser, and now you're here. So I'm sure there's all sorts of things.
My family's from the Caribbean,
right?
I have friends that are out in California, so I have been out there quite a few times. I don't know.
Yeah, people talk about my distinct way of talking, and it's just like, well, let's talk to my mom about that. We all sound the same. He says, sounds like you say tournament. No, it doesn't. My parents say tournament.
Tournament.
Hey, let me tell you something about this tournament here. All right, we're gonna go to the tournament, and nobody's gonna stop us. We'll have to listen to that, Harry. We'll have to listen to that. We'll have to pay attention. He says, I'm not judging, by the way.
I didn't take it that way. It's just interesting.
I did. I feel like we're all being judged by Harry. Say tournament, Randy.
Tournament.
Tournament.
No, I don't say tournament.
I didn't say you did.
Why did you just go tournament after I said tournament?
Tournament. I just felt like it. Tourniquet.
Oh, okay.
Tourniquet.
Very well.
Oh, Harry's are you a linguistic are you a cunning linguist? I mean,
no, I think he's just out there listening close, and he wanted to comment that he picked up that dialect.
So I did date somebody whose stepmom was a speech pathologist, and she listened to me talk for 10 minutes, and she was like, "Is your family from Guyana?" And I will never understand how she heard that in there, but she heard it. Speech people can figure stuff out.
Amaya D says, I also heard him say tournament. So Harry might not be crazy after all. Tournament.
Maybe not. I have no idea. I wasn't consciously thinking about how I was pronouncing it, so I have no idea, honestly.
Well, I find it very interesting. I do find it very interesting. So Harry, don't worry. I find it interesting as well. Number one Rattlers fan says, I'll give $100 to a charity of Keon's choice. I need him to do an entire show with a Caribbean accent.
But I don't have one.
Yeah.
My parents have the
How does that
accent.
sound anyway? I mean, I know what a Jamaican accent is, but what's a Caribbean accent?
Because it's just a lot of because every single island and country in the Caribbean kind of had all of their time separately. If you know the Jamaican accent, you know the Caribbean accent. Then it's just a matter of kind of knowing which island, puts accents on which words and all of that. Hey,
welcome to the Caribbean islands. Okay, come on over here. We got a hut here for you to sleep in, and we got over here. We got some food on the beach. You just you're gonna need money. Don't ask me where to hold it. It's not a nude beach. All right, just get over there and get yourself some food. All right, knucklehead.
I promise none of them sound like that, but that's just me living here most of my life.
You haven't been to that island. I've been to that island.
Which island would that be?
Been to the east,
because I've been to most of them.
East coast of the island.
It's the one you haven't been on, so shut up.
Cuba?
Cuba sounds like this. Yeah, it's Cuban. Hello, welcome to Cuba. Hefty Lefty says the Lady Lumberjacks are having a great season this year too, by the way. 10-1 in conference play. LSU better watch out for that little kitty. Gonna get an X to the femur. Oh, femur. Sorry, my glasses. It might be time to up my glasses. Femur. I don't think that's how you spell femur. Hefty.
All right.
Kenry from Jamaica says, did someone say Jamaican?
We did actually.
He says, yeah, man, I'm listening. Okay. That's not what the Caribbean accents all sound like. Jamaican, do they?
They don't all sound like that. No, but if you want to know what one sounds like, that's as close to what most Americans know.
Hey, Henry, you know the joke with the punchline, welcome to Jamaica, have a nice day? That's one of my favorites. Kyle G says there's two types of Niner fans. Okay. Oh, he said that yesterday. Today he says Jeffrey went to the same Caribbean island that Bugs Bunny vacationed at. Well, you take a left at Toledo and that happens.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us,
Hurry Harry says, yo man, haha. Okay, everybody stop with the Jamaican accent. Just Big George says, I'm from Chicago. I lived in Florida. Raised most of my life in Arizona. Now I live in California. I have all sorts of bad accents and sayings. Some of which I can't repeat that he just said here, but did you say pop for soda?
Oh no, I lived in the South for too long. Everything's a Coke.
Everything's a Coke, even if it's a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
I've said both pop and soda. I don't know. I don't let geography limit the words that I use.
Get in the way of a
right.
good sentence. Yeah.
I don't let time get in the way either. I talk like somebody from 1910 sometimes. Sometimes I talk like somebody from 1950. Sometimes I talk like somebody from tomorrow. You don't even know.
Somebody from tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Told you don't even know.
All right.
Hefty Lefty says the one-time spell check doesn't try and come in here and correct a word and it's femur. Stupid technology.
It's like that sometimes.
Yeah. So I gotta say, there's nothing more fun than the music that they play sometimes in an arena, and sometimes it matches up with what's going on. But boy, I'll tell you what, coach of Iowa women's team, Lisa Blutter, is that how you're saying her name? Blutter?
I think so, actually. I've never heard her name said out loud.
She looks like her name is spelled. Anyway, so old Caitlin Clark, you've heard of her, right? She's supposed to be pretty good. Caitlin Clark is having a great game there, right? And she got 31 points. And but then she goes up there to, I guess at the fourth quarter, she didn't play so hot. And she got up to the free throw line. And she shoots a free throw. And somebody in the band hit her with the sad trombone sound. Wah, wah, wah. It was perfect. And then she missed the next one. It was just like that, and it was perfect. And boy, was the coach mad.
Oh boy.
She tried to muscle in and kick down the door in a media thing. Some girls from the other team were sitting there answering questions, and you're going to hear her back in the background saying, "This is bull bleep. This is not Big Ten protocol to play music when you shoot free throws. The visiting team's I'm supposed to be in there. I got to catch a flight." So she's trying to arm and muscle her way through and kick the girls from the other team off of the table so that she could complain about what just happened to the media. But they're like, "No, ma'am, you can't go in there." So it wasn't a good look for Lisa Blubber, whatever her name is. And it was but it was funny as hell.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you.
So she was on the line ready to shoot, and they hit her with the sad trombone?
Well, she shot one, missed it, and then the guy goes, wah, 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 and then she shoots another one. And
there isn't anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Well, I agree. I thought it was great. And then she's like, "This is bull bleep. This is not Big Ten protocol to play music when you're shooting free throws." Now, Caitlin Clark didn't seem to care. But oh boy, was that coach mad. She was mad.
Yeah, I mean,
and I loved it.
Now, granted, it's kind of her own fault that Caitlin Clark is the entire offense of her team. So there's that. I mean, if every time Caitlin Clark went to the free throw line, it wasn't a matter of consequence for Iowa basketball, you might be a little less stressed about something like that. I don't know. Just saying.
Hefty Lefty says, "Heaven forbid they were late to their 40-minute charter flight." Yeah, that's a good point. She's like, we got to get on a plane. They'll wait for
I don't
you.
think they charter the planes, do they, for the NCAA players?
For Iowa, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Hurry Harry says, "Oh, I'm from Washington State. I've been accused of having my own language." Oh, yeah, a lot of freaks in Washington and Oregon.
Yeah, and I will say, man, Baltimore, they speak their own thing in Baltimore. Like, I went over there and I couldn't understand what anybody was saying. I was just like, what? Why do you say words like this? Stop doing this. The English language is screaming for you to stop. So I don't know.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
Hefty Lefty, thank you for that. 888-368-1580. So remember clown ass Matt Barnes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's tried to be a talking head on some shows.
Yes.
But you're still kind of like, that guy's an idiot, you know?
And he doesn't have the personality for it either. It's
why am I listening to this guy? Well, I think we'll probably see the last of him because he got into some trouble. He got into some trouble at his kid's basketball game. I guess he kept jumping up and he was almost out on the floor yelling at the players and coaches and stuff. And he was shouting and stuff. And he was like, "Well, I wasn't shouting. I was talking to my own son. I was yelling to my son right there." Right. And so as he's up there, there's a little kid sitting over there at a table doing play-by-play. He's like doing a play-by-play broadcast, I guess, for the school, for like apps or whatever. And I guess, according to him, the kid said, "Sit your ass down." And so he walked over there like, "I'm a grown-ass man." And he put his hand on his shoulder and said, "I'll slap the bleep out of you." Which I think in the old days you could get away with that. And I think, if that was my kid and he said that to my kid, I'd be like, fair enough, because why are you talking to a grown-ass man like that? You don't tell a grown man that sort of thing. That's for other grown-ups to deal with. And so the kid was feeling, a little cocky there at the moment. Now, of course, the kid has come out and said, "I never said that. I never said that." And of course, everybody's stories are conflicting on what was said and what wasn't said. But Barnes said, "Yeah, I put my hand on his shoulder like I would if I were talking to my son." But he's like, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that." But, just saying, some kid tells me, "Hey, sit your ass down, old man." I'll be like, "Really? All right, let's see." Again,
we've got here, Junior.
We have gotten way too comfortable saying things that could get you punched in the face. So I'm not on Matt Barnes' side. I got a feeling you tear this onion apart, you're going to find he's wrong. You know what I'm saying? That he actually did say some stuff, and I don't know about the kid, but whatever the case, 6'7" guy hovering over and putting his hands on his little kid.
Yeah.
It's not a great look.
Yeah, Matt Barnes is 6'7". It's
Yeah.
just no optical version of this is going to come out looking good for Matt Barnes, even if he's 100% correct. It's
course,
not going to
then
look great.
You'd think that after now you hear that thing and, you know, you're like, okay, maybe I better lay low for a while. So, but no, he gets on the Twitter. Some kid's mom says something about it, and he tweets to her, "Don't let that privileged housewife bleep go to your head. I don't give a bleep who your son is."
Oh no.
It's like, wow. All right.
You just really wanted to pour gasoline on that, I guess.
Wow.
I think I just got a text from 7683 saying, "Sit your ass down, old man." Are you talking about me? He says, "When did you play in the NBA?" None of us played in the NBA. No, none of us ever said we played in the NBA.
Are you high? Maybe you sit your ass down and wait for the for the high to succeed so you can walk around and function like a normal human being. That's just a thought. Just throwing it out there.
I got a microphone. You have a minimum wage job. God has a plan, and right now you're not in it. So why don't you sit your ass down? Huh? How you like that? Kyle G says, "Watch out if you're headed north on the I-17. Crash at Thomas got traffic backed up for a couple of miles." Look at Kyle G reporting traffic right there.
There you go.
Good job, Kyle G.
Nicely done. All right, that'll do it for the second hour. For some of you, I do need to say the next hour would be the third. So when we come back, we're going to talk some football and stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended silver unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the silver unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit talknowaz.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. It's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Well, now it's gotten worse. Now, what happened in Kansas City at the parade, I guess the parade was over, and then all of a sudden somebody starts shooting, and we have one dead. Now more than 20 are listed as having actually been shot. So this is, like we said, the story is going to come into more focus over the next couple of days. Even what I just said to you, that could change at any moment. So it's just a real shame.
By the way, we have a third detained.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A third person detained as a possible shooter.
Yeah, and who knows how much of this, maybe it was two sets of people shooting at each other, or are these people just blasting away at people? It's just, we don't know anything yet, so there's no reason to speculate or even get into it. But it's just really sad.
Yeah.
Just very sad. I don't want to get all into it again, but yeah, that news is going to change, and generally, like I said, it's not going to get better. So let's just hope for the best for the rest of them. 888-368-1580. Swave Dave says, hey, I got stuck in traffic. Now I'm on the westbound 10, and that's just crawling. Yeah, I guess there's going to be some bad traffic today, guys. But the good news is you get to listen to us longer. Lucky. Desert Viking says, let's see here. He says, I don't want to always be the conspiracy guy. Oh, brother. I don't even want to read this now. Yeah, I'm not reading any of this. Let me see here.
Maybe
Okay.
you should repeat what you did at the top of the show. That was very well said.
Oh, no, this is not what Desert Viking's doing. But I said, if anybody tries to make jokes about what's happened in Kansas City, I'm just going to block your ass forever. I mean, I got a button I can do it. Just click, done. So
I mean, it's this show. We're not even going to remember that we did it. Just there's no appeals process to come back, is what I'm trying to say.
But that's not what he was actually saying. So I'll go ahead and read his text. He says, I don't want to be the conspiracy guy, and you guys know I hate Taylor Swift only when she got involved with the NFL. Why?
Here we go.
Why? Like if you just hated her then, that's
yeah. I mean, if you hated her before, I hated her in movies. I don't care about her music because I don't listen to it. But every time she's ever shown up in a movie, she can't act for nothing. And she has ruined some movies for me. But yeah, that I don't know what your problem is with her. He says, but I think we need to have a talk about how the Chiefs haven't had a single holding call in any of their Super Bowl wins. That has nothing to do with Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah. Why did her name even come out of your mouth?
I think it's two separate things for him.
Okay, I guess. I'm trying to figure out why she has one thing doesn't have anything to do with the other thing.
Oh, he's just trying to say the whole damn thing is fixed. He's going for the conspiracy of it's fixed. He says, I'd like to point out that the NFL is legally classified as entertainment, just like the WWE, and that the NBA and MLB are classified as sports. So the NFL could legally be fixed for entertainment purposes. What are you talking about?
Okay, I don't even know where to start. One, with the holding calls, they're missed holding calls all the time. That's a team that typically doesn't get a ton of them. So why would the Super Bowl suddenly be different? Like if they had holding calls all year and it was bad, and then all of a sudden they get to the Super Bowl and there's none, that's a little suspicious. But they usually don't have a ton. That's not the penalty that they are that they struggle with. So I don't I don't know what it.
I'm sorry, I got to go back to Taylor Swift for a second. Desert Viking, she was on the broadcast for 54 seconds, and then the last broadcast she was on for 44 seconds. Why does that little amount of Taylor Swift threaten you? What is it about her that just did? Oh my God! There's a pretty girl on the screen cheering for football. I just don't understand why you just be that way about it. Scratch Me Because says, sounds like he found the 2024 Super Bowl script. Well, we all saw it happen. So. I mean, Ziggy says, good show, guys. Listening from southern Mississippi on my way to Florida.
Well, flap my jacks and slap my pig jowls.
I didn't know they had internet down there in the South. I thought it was all like DSL, like 56K.
Surprisingly, they do.
They're so far in the past. I thought for sure anytime somebody's like, I don't get on the internet. No, get off the phone. Get off the phone. Yeah, it's the same thing. I just figured it was still in the 90s.
No, they've got internet down there. That's how Brett Favre embezzled all those funds.
Yeah.
And sent the Wee Willie pictures to that reporter girl.
Well, that was in New York, but yeah.
Oh,
still counts.
Fish Tank says, I love when people say, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy guy, but
because the next words out of your mouth are usually incoherent nonsense, but
immediately it's conspiracy. Kind of like, no offense, but I'm about to offend you.
Yeah.
Ray says, I hope I don't get banned. Well, okay, so
then why say it? If you're going to lead with that, why even start?
Understand that whatever you say next.
Well, that's not a joke. What he's saying is not a joke. So
okay.
No.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is people start making jokes about it. And he says, I think whoever did that today should face the death penalty. I don't know. Do they have that in Missouri? So then, yeah, I agree. If they did, I mean, they're shooting up people. They shot a kid. I mean, maybe a couple. So yeah, I agree. I agree on that. Whoever, I don't care. We're not that show though. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think that the death penalty should be used more publicly and more often. Pull the Plug says, I mean, like just even sometimes at traffic stops. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Pull the Plug says referees don't want to be the game, so they let things go. Yeah, but they don't. They're not consistent. And there is some truth to the fact that, wow, the Chiefs seem to get a lot of non-calls on the holding. But then there's also quarterbacks. You get a lot of non-calls on the intentional grounding. Oh, and there's a lot of cornerbacks. You get a lot of non-calls and hand fighting. There is always going to be certain teams that just seem to have it better than others when it comes to non-calls.
Yeah, it happens, especially in big games like that, because no referee wants to be the person that makes the obviously bad call. So they let stuff ride. And, you know, if we're going to sit there and nitpick the entire Super Bowl, like Christian McCaffrey's touchdown that he got from Juwan Jennings shouldn't have counted. There was an illegal man downfield, but they let it
by
go.
The way, the last touchdown of the game for the Chiefs also had a legal man downfield when they went back and looked at the play.
Yeah, it's just those, if it's not major enough, it doesn't get called all the time. That doesn't mean that the fix is in, unless it's just the fix to make sure that, yeah, if the game is won or lost by somebody, let it be a player.
Raven Kid, I don't understand your text. He says, I think the people who are going overboard on the Taylor stuff are part of the reason people think football fans are in the closet and call the game a hugging fest. I have never heard any of that. I don't know anybody who thinks that about NFL fans.
A hugging? Who said that?
No idea what you're talking about.
I mean, Raven Kid, I'm usually on your side, but what?
Raven Kid's like, I haven't texted in a while, so he let AI type it for him. Desert Viking says the Chiefs led the league in holding penalties in 23. They had 30. They were fifth in 22 or 24. In the last two Super Bowls, they had 0 holding penalties against them. How many holding penalties were there against the 49ers, though, Viking? How many? I think there were one. So
I don't even remember.
I remember one holding penalty in the game, but I'm going to guess it was on the 49ers. Yeah, 1-0 is not a disparity. 10 holding penalties 2-0 on the Chiefs is a disparity.
Well, I mean, the one on the San Francisco 49ers was legit holding. And I think it was more than one. I thought it was like 3, but they were like legit. I mean, the guy was grabbing onto his jersey. I mean, the guy clearly beat him, and he was grabbing onto his jersey. I mean, there's no hiding that.
I saw one that doesn't always get called. It gets called. It's inconsistent. It's one that's not. It never gets consistently called, which is when Bosa tried to do the spin move, but then he ended up going directly. I forget the right tackle's name. He went directly into his chest and then stopped moving. So the tackle just held him. They almost never call that, though.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I've been seeing as the example of, see, the Super Bowl's fixed. They should have called it. But like that one doesn't get called often.
I can't say that this Super Bowl looks like it was fixed. I didn't see any real referee interference. I didn't see any real odd plays or suspicious activity.
Yeah. And it's totally normal for Patrick Mahomes to pass, the actual referee an 8 ball. That's totally normal. That's like a sign of respect.
That's just like saying hello.
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Passes him an 8 ball.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I just when I saw the Philadelphia Kansas City Super Bowl, like that one. I didn't think that Super Bowl was horrifically officiated. Like there are Super Bowls where you look at it and you're like, oh my God, what are they doing out there?
Yeah.
I didn't see that from the last couple. And the fact that nobody was complaining about it in real time should tell you something.
So, well, let's go ahead and move on and just talk some random football stuff. Can we do that?
Let's go for it.
All right, let's talk random football.
Steve Wilkes got fired again. Uh-oh.
Yes,
we're all going to get sued.
Don't you feel bad for this guy?
Whatever happened to his lawsuit? I think he actually
it's because it's a number. It's him and a number of coaches. He didn't just sue by himself. So it's still I don't know exactly where it is in the process, but it's still ongoing.
Yeah, that lawsuit does have merit. So I know I'm joking about it, but no, that's I hope that if it's righteous, they win. But Steve Wilkes has been fired as the defensive coordinator of the 49ers. And I just got to say, I don't think he was the problem there. I just
agree.
Don't understand. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan's like, well, if I don't fire this guy, I guess I get fired. So that's why. But Steve Wilkes, that was a good defense. That was good defense. They're like, well, but in the playoffs, it's not Steve Wilkes out there playing defense. It's players out there playing defense. And I don't think it was a problem with his scheme. I don't think that game right there actually showed good defense on both the Chiefs and the 49ers. And for the 49ers to hold the Chiefs down as much as they did, and also made the damn thing go to overtime, right? Because where were the touchdowns? So I feel like this was kind of a bullcrap firing.
It's a bullcrap firing. And when you say the playoffs, you go back to the Lions game. Did they give up 30 whatever points in the first half? Sure did. What happened in the second half of that game, though? Adjustments were made, and the Lions stopped scoring. How does he not get credit for that? You go back to the Packers game. They held the Packers to 21 points. And that was an offense with Jordan Love that was just coming into its own and starting to look really damn good.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkes' defense in the playoffs was good defense. Throughout the season, good defense.
He got a raw deal with the Cardinals, and I think he got a raw deal with the 49ers.
Yeah.
I think
stay out of the NFC West.
Well, I mean, maybe he should take a year or some off, and just kind of let the waters settle down before you get back in the league. Steve,
I don't see why he has to take a year off. He didn't do anything wrong.
I don't know if he's head coach material, but the guy is clearly a good coordinator. I don't understand.
Cardinals fire him after a year, then he ends up in North Carolina. He's doing okay there. Then that head coach gets fired. He ends up as the interim head coach. Then they don't give him the job. Then he goes to San Francisco after DeMarco Ryans leaves to take over the Texans job, and he's there for one season, and they let him go again.
I mean, I don't know and the thing is, if it was bad defenses all along the way, that would make sense.
I don't think it was bad defenses at all.
But it's not.
Shanahan
I agree with you.
Said he didn't feel Wilkes was ultimately the right fit for what the team wants to do defensively.
Oh my goodness.
Bull crap. He did a fine job.
Next guy you hire better not. I mean, if he's worse than Wilkes, then what reason are you going to give next time? Like that doesn't. I just don't understand. And like if you have a defensive coordinator for 1 year, don't you think your defense would be better with 2 years in that system?
So it feels like Steve Wilkes got fired because of one touchdown in the game. That's what it feels like. He got fired because of one touchdown in the game because Steve Spagnuolo on the other side, he just got himself a contract extension. Steve Wilkes gets fired and the game was exactly the same. That's why they went to overtime. Exactly the same until that very last part. And, Steve Spagnuolo didn't get fired for Chris McCaffrey catching a touchdown pass from a wide receiver. He didn't get fired for that. I don't understand this, why Steve Wilkes needed to get fired for what happened at the Super Bowl. I mean, you want to say, well, this goes back to the playoffs. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, playoffs, you meet the best teams. So, of course, the defense is going to have a harder time. You won the games. So even if you look at the playoff games and say, well, they gave up more yards or they did this, you won the games. You got to the very last game. You won the game until overtime. You were winning most of the time. You can't say Steve Wilkes did a bad job.
The two worst losses that they had this season were the Cincinnati loss, where they gave up 31 points, and the Baltimore loss, where they gave up 33. Outside of that, those defenses have been holding teams to, at worst, the mid-20s. That's just... The guy had a really good defense. It was the second-ranked defense in football by the end of the season. What are we doing?
Yeah,
you can't do much better than that.
You're gonna scapegoat Steve Wilkes, and okay, whatever.
To me, it's just if you're looking at Steve Wilkes, you're the strongest case you have as far as race and coaching hires in the NFL is Cliff Kingsbury, because you get fired. And Cliff has the job for 4 years, manages to accomplish more or less the same thing. And then he gets another job somewhere and he gets to pick and choose between two teams. And then he gets hired and people are talking about Cliff Kingsbury like he's some fantastic hire. Meanwhile, you helped coach a team to a Super Bowl and you lose your job.
By the way, nobody here. We all think Kingsbury is a giant joke.
No, he's the biggest fraud in the NFL, and I do not understand it.
Yeah,
and I
serves them idiots right.
Weep for my team.
Oh, that's right. Wait, what?
Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator
on the Commandos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I haven't stopped thinking.
Sorry, I'll take back the serves those idiots right.
I still think it serves those idiots right, but
yeah, the team.
Yeah, sorry, that just hurts my feelings.
Slave Dave says. Just past the Hot Wheels track at the Via Resort off the 101 by the Cardinal Stadium. Looks pretty cool so far. I have no idea what he's talking about. Are you talking about that resort?
Yeah, I think so. It's across from the Cardinal Stadium. It's this huge resort they're building out there.
Fish Tank says, wasn't the Niners like a top 10 defense all year? Please, God, some defensive coordinator take my team to the Super Bowl and lose. I'd be elated.
Yeah.
I would imagine Wilkes will end up with a job. The problem is he was in the Super Bowl, so a lot of them jobs are already gone. He may get to sit a year. I doubt it. Somebody will pick him up. Will pick him up.
I feel bad for him. I wish he would take a year off and vacation and, blow off some steam and relax and then come back after this next season and see what's available and, start again. Just hit the reset button, man.
And take Jeffrey's advice and maybe avoid the NFC West. It doesn't seem like they like you very much out here.
Don't talk to the Rams. Don't talk to the Seahawks. Just keep moving.
There's a bunch of other divisions.
Desert Viking says, fine, I'll proudly be the conspiracy guy. Well, you can be that, but I'm not going to read all your dumb conspiracies, though. If they end up being really dumb, I ain't reading them. He says, I hate Taylor Swift. Like I said, in honesty, I didn't have a problem with her until the Chiefs played the Vikings this year. And guys, you have to at least agree a little bit on this. When it's your team out there losing to Taylor Swift, it hurts way more.
My team has
She
never
wasn't
lost
in the game. She wasn't on the field. Desert Viking.
No team has ever lost to Taylor Swift.
Oh my goodness!
Are you receiving rent checks from her? Because she seems to be in your head.
Wow!
And you should probably charge for that since she's
there. You go.
Living
you
in it.
It hurts more. It's already painful enough being a Vikings fan. Now I got some Swifties to deal with.
The Swifties don't care about the Vikings.
You realize, yeah, you guys just you got killed. You're like you won't. You're not going to be up for an Oscar when you get killed that early in the movie. You know what I mean?
The Swifties are obsessed with one thing and one thing only, and it's Taylor Swift. The most famous person on your team is Justin Jefferson, and there isn't a Swiftie who could pick him out of a lineup. Why do you care so much? I'm so confused by this. When it's your team, no, I don't understand that. That still doesn't make any sense.
Slim Pickens hat says getting fired as a coach is such a bad thing. You still get paid not to coach. I don't think he was on that kind of a contract. I don't think Wilkes had this extended contract like the head coaches do.
Yeah, and you're not getting paid nearly as much money. And as much as even if you are still getting paid, like it's still going to be a headache to try and tell your wife and kids, all right, we're moving again. Thought we were settled down here because our defense was great and you got the kids in school, and now you have to figure out who's going to hire you next. Where are you moving the family to? Where are the kids going to go to school now? Like, it's a whole thing that you tear those kids away from their friends. It's not just the money. The money helps it go down maybe a little easier, but he's still a human being.
I like money. I like money a lot. Kyle G says, as a Packers fan, I'd like to suggest Joe Barry for the Niners DC job. They deserve each other. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
College basketball heading into the final few weeks of the regular season before the conference championships, which leads to the NCAA tournament. And the UConn Huskies are plus 650 and the betting favorite to repeat as national champions. So the Purdue Boilermakers, who are ranked number 2 in the AP poll, are also plus 650. Houston plus 900. The Arizona Wildcats plus 1100. The Tennessee Volunteers, the best bet out of the SEC, plus 1500. And the North Carolina Tar Heels are coming off a loss on the road at Syracuse, plus 2,000 to claim the title. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wings are here.
Oh, from?
No, I'd never order from anymore. Popeyes now has wings in 5 flavors. Ghost pepper, roasted garlic parmesan, sweet and spicy, signature hot, and honey barbecue. Marinated in Louisiana spices, hand battered and flipped. Makes no sense they're $5.99 for 6 pieces. Taste them.
Crunchy outside
and juicy inside.
Consider me a convert.
That's the most romantic thing you've said to me all month.
We don't make sense. We make chicken.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Price may vary.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harmon Solar podcast first?
The what?
The Harmon Solar podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harmon Solar podcast. Go check it out at harmonsolar.com.
When life gets overwhelming, but you just don't feel like talking, help is only a text away. Trained and caring crisis specialists are available by text 24/7 to assist with suicidal thoughts, substance use issues, depression, anxiety, and more. You are never alone. When you need help, please text HOPE to 4HOPE. From anywhere in Arizona, text the word HOPE to 44673. This message is sponsored by Solari Crisis and Human Services.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Today's blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Just got a text in some language. I got to hit my translate button because there's a new texter on the text line in a new language I haven't seen yet. Oh, okay. Here it is. It says, hello, my name is Dominic. I'm from Vilnius, which he says, and I heard you joking about your Sabonis. I don't think you know what Sabonis means. You're right. I don't think you know what it sounds like.
And now,
Dominic, but what does Sabonis mean? I am curious. I am very curious. And also, where are you from? And if you live here, have you been listening in English or in a different language? I'm just kind of curious. You know, sometimes when people know more than one language, they think in one, but they're able to speak multiples. You know, some people who are Spanish, they think in Spanish, but they speak in English. I'm always kind of curious about that. So, 1276. No harm meant. No, you know, we were, you know, just, but in English, Sabonis. Well, it sounds fun.
Yeah, it's like good luck explaining it. I don't even know how.
Oh, you understood. That's all that matters. So nice to meet you, Dominic. By the way, so we were talking about, would you like Steve Wilkes as your defensive coordinator? Would you like it over in the Washington Commandos? Of course you would.
Yeah.
Of course you would.
Yeah, guy's good at it.
I wouldn't mind having him on my team. I don't even know who my defensive coordinator is anymore. But, oh, by the way, you have another guy. Anthony Lynn is going to be your run game coordinator with the Commandos. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with that. I don't want Anthony Lynn calling plays.
Oh, he won't be. He's just a run game coordinator.
Yeah, but if he's just in the building, he's a smart dude. He's just the level that I have seen him reach at the most success is offensive coordinator.
Well, he helped out with the 49ers, and Christian McCaffrey and him worked together great. So maybe Anthony Lynn can improve your running game.
Yeah, I sure hope so, and I do think that's part of them hiring Adam Peters, the assistant GM, away from San Francisco, was to help them go through San Francisco and take what coaches might be interested in, a different challenge. Yeah.
So your coaching staff is starting to come into focus, huh?
Yeah, and I like it for the most part. There's just one glaring part of it that I don't enjoy, and his name is Cliff.
Does he have any kids, by the way? Cliff Kingsbury have any kids?
I don't think so, actually.
Because the new thing is, you got somebody on your staff. If he has a kid old enough to work, he's going to be on the coaching staff. Antonio Pierce's son is now part of the Raiders coaching staff. DeAndre Pierce, he's going to be an assistant offensive coach.
No kidding.
Yeah. He was a defensive quality control coach at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo last year. But now he's an assistant offensive coach. So
I thought he played at ASU, didn't he?
Nepo baby. He was a defensive back, and yes, he played under his father at Long Beach Poly and at ASU. So
wow.
Yeah. So
that's the story of the NFL. Nepotism.
Yep. Guess if it's good for one, it's good for the other. So
they're all doing it, man.
Oh, how about this? You want to laugh at if you want a nice laugh at the Cowboys, because I know Randy, not a fan. Keon, not a fan. Mike Zimmer is now the defensive coordinator over there. I guess the Jesus foot washing ad didn't work. Sorry, Rex Ryan. But yeah, they weren't sure if Mike Zimmer or Rex Ryan was going to be the guy, but they finally sorted it out.
What a handful of options. And honestly, what if they rescinded the job from Mike Zimmer and just said, "Hey, Steve Wilkes, we didn't know he was going to be available," because who does that?
Whoa. You think they do that? They should. If
they should, they won't, because that's not how that organization works. But
interesting.
I would, because that's the better guy.
But isn't Mike Zimmer a hell of a defensive coordinator though?
Well, we'll see if he still got it. The last time he was coaching his own defense, it was not doing well.
Well, he was also a head coach at the time too.
Yeah, and so that does
Cousins.
that splits your attention and all that. And yeah, he was dealing with Kirk Cousins, who he hates on a deep
it turns
level.
out that the Kirk Cousins wasn't the problem there though either.
Yeah, so they did play better after they fired Zimmer. So yeah, but part of it is, if you're a defensive coordinator and you become the head coach, but you insist on calling plays as the defensive coordinator, you are doing two jobs instead of one job, which is running the entire team.
So Dominic has responded. He says, "Don't worry. I know you're joking about your pee-pee." The translation on that is hilarious. If you know English, why are you typing in Lithuanian? Anyway, he says, "I'm originally from Lithuania, currently living in Whitehorse, Yukon, and visiting Phoenix to watch the Suns play the Pistons tonight. You have a funny show." Well, thank you, Dominic. I appreciate that. But how do you Canadians keep finding us?
I didn't know there were so many Canadians in this city. I could not have guessed that.
Well, I mean, it's a widely known fact. The Daily Blender #1 with ladies and #1 in Canada.
I just think that, is there a hotel that just has like a big old sign behind the lobby saying, "Listen to the Daily Blender"? I whoever it is, thank you. Appreciate it. Just, it's odd. Kind of like when I was a kid, I used to work for a Levi's store. I was managing a Levi's store in Tempe, and the owner, she was brilliant. This old lady, she just made flyers and put them in all the hotels. And so then when all the people from all those European countries would come to visit, if they were there, they'd be like, "Oh, 501 jeans," because back in the day during the Iron Curtain during communism,
they couldn't get it. Yeah.
Oh, you buy a couple of pairs of jeans for $20 a pop, take them back over there with you. You're selling them for a few $100s. So I saw a lot of people from other countries because of those pamphlets. So I just wanted somebody putting pamphlets in hotels for us.
Yeah. And thank you.
Yeah,
you are.
Well, nice to meet you, Dominic. Please enjoy your time here, enjoy the game, and obey all the traffic laws. All right, so no big surprise, but is it a surprise? I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? Steelers have released Mitch Trubisky.
Oh no.
Who saw that coming?
I mean, the moment they put him out on the field, they were like, "Oh, bleep, Mason Rudolph. We got to go back to him. This was a mistake."
Future Hall of Famer Mitch Trubisky. Just, I guess, I don't know. They're like, "Hey, we want to give you a head start to free agency." Oh, okay. No, you need to leave now. Okay. No, okay. Now we're giving you a head start down the driveway. 1, 2, get the hell out of here, Mitch. Take a hint. Thunk, thunk, thunk. I don't know. He just he's done, right? He's done.
I don't think he's done.
Oh, he's done.
I mean,
he's so done.
Because as far as being a backup goes, there's no end to how long that can go if you're not actually forced to play too often.
So, he has a winning record. Did you know that? I didn't know he had a winning record. He went 29-21 in Chicago.
Because with Nagy, the first couple of seasons weren't bad. Just fell apart so badly there.
Of course, in Pittsburgh, he was 2-5. So Mitch Trubisky,
which, on a team that never finishes below 500, if you finish 2-5, that's actually worse than 2-5 somehow.
So anyway, so Mitch Trubisky is available if you want him.
We're all good.
Would you say Justin Fields is kind of a underdog?
Yeah, somehow. I mean, he's a first round overall pick,
Yeah,
but
kind of an underdog.
But he
seems like everybody's against him. Everybody's like, oh, he's a bust. Oh, he's no good. Oh, he's
he's struggled enough that he's somehow looped back around to being an underdog, I think.
So this makes it even worse. But you're an underdog, and you're just trying your best. And we're seeing some good moments, and we've seen some bad moments, but we're rooting for you, Justin. And then the ultimate underdog comes out and says, I don't think he's shown me he's that guy. Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner has come out and basically said, Chicago Bears, probably time to move on from Justin Fields. Ow! That would hurt my feelings so much.
Yeah.
The ultimate Home Depot working underdog is now coming out and saying, this guy stinks. Get rid of him. What the heck, man? Underdog to underdog. Why would you throw me under the damn bus, Kurt? He says, I think the thing for me with Justin is he hasn't shown me he's that guy. Doesn't mean he's not talented. Doesn't mean he can't be great at a franchise quarterback. But when you have 3 years and you don't take out the doubt and say, oh, look at that, he's our guy, you got to move on. Well, Kurt is trying to be nice, but he's also speaking out of both sides of his ass on this.
Well, that's part of what being, if you're telling the honest truth and being nice at the same time, that is what that makes you sound like.
Yeah.
But Kurt's too nice. He can't say, I just think he stinks.
Bottom line, if you've played for 3 years, you have to prove to me you're that guy. Kurt Warner says he has not done that.
Well, I mean, he's not lying, right? I mean, he hasn't had any standout seasons, right? I mean, he's done his best, but he hasn't had any standout seasons.
He hasn't had a whole lot of help in the first part, though.
Halves of seasons, unfortunately. The second half of this past season and the second half of the year before, it looked like he was
the NFL, man. I mean, you've got to be consistent. You can't blame everything on the offensive coordinator, the offensive line. If you either have the talent to make plays, and I think the people like Kurt Warner know that, or you don't.
I think with Kurt too in particular, because he's big on watching the film. He still watches the film of everybody playing in the league right now. It's not just that Justin can't make plays, because he can. It's that when it comes to the understanding the game, the football IQ, the what a defense is showing you, and you know how to counter that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Kurt, that's what he's looking at, to say, I don't think that Justin Fields has grown enough. Has he gotten better since year one? Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. And he still shows signs of a franchise quarterback in terms of there are certain moments where you go, that's a franchise play. But if you don't string together enough franchise plays to win games like that, that's going to be an issue. And he hasn't shown that, because that's something that you can see regardless of what's around you is, can you actually diagnose what you're looking at when a defense shows it to you?
And there were times when he couldn't. He got confused.
Yeah, even recently when he's been playing better, there's still moments where you're like, he's not really seeing it.
Just kind of sucks to get that from Kurt Warner, where he just gives you like a scene from Gladiator. Big thumbs down.
It's one thing if another person had said that, it wouldn't be any less true. But if it's coming from Dan Orlovsky, then you just go, okay, that I can take this with the grain of salt that needs to come with it. Kurt Warner has been to all of the lows of the NFL and of course all of the highs. So like he gets it better than anybody else. When he's saying it means more. Just
maybe he'd feel better if we sent if Kurt Warner, maybe we send him like a gift basket with a bunch of gravy gone in it, because damn, he has really let that go, hasn't he?
I think he's just given up on trying to.
The thing is, he has this commercial that was on during the season where he was totally gravy gone, And he's like, hey, you look pretty good there. And then you go to then the same show you're watching. There he is. You're like, whoa, did someone scare you suddenly, Kurt Warner? Your hair all turned white.
Yeah. What happened there?
There was Kurt Warner. Anyway, let's take a break. We'll be back with On This Date in Big George's sports history. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Wings are here.
Oh, from?
No, I'd never order from anymore. Popeyes now has wings in 5 flavors. Ghost pepper, roasted garlic parmesan, sweet and spicy, signature hot, and honey barbecue. Marinated in Louisiana spices, hand battered and flipped. Makes no sense they're $5.99 for 6 pieces. Taste them.
Crunchy outside.
And juicy inside.
Consider me a convert.
That's the most romantic thing you've said to me all month.
We don't make sense. We make chicken. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Price may vary.
Are you ready for your passion to meet your purpose? The city of Chandler is one of the best run cities and best places to live in Arizona, where people express their passion through collaboration and teamwork as we serve our community of innovation. Come to Chandler, where passion meets purpose. Visit jointeamchandler.com for our current openings. That's jointeamchandler.com.
This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Swave Dave says, I think Kurt Warner said after his comments about Justin Fields, bless his heart. Well, that's fighting words in the South.
Bless his heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a bad heart.
It's not what that means.
It's not?
That means get that boy a coloring book because anyway,
he's not in danger of splitting the atom anytime
that's
soon.
right. There's just not a lot going on in there. Let's see.
Too bad.
Cabana has sent me a text. He just sent me a bunch of pictures of flowers and says, "That's my living room floor. You need any flowers for the wife?" God, you send the weirdest text, Cabana. And no, thank you. And that's not your living room floor. That is the lawn. What are you talking about?
They're
That's
beautiful.
the lawn.
Yeah, sidewalk and grass. Unless you have that going through your living room. Oh, there's one where there's a beautiful hardwood floor. Yeah, that's no, we're good, Cabana. Thank you. Jonesy says, just heard a Liberty Limu Emu commercial over the break for the first time on this channel. It's like they heard your comments last week and said, "Ooh, we could do the funniest thing ever." Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's just they've been popping up in our show more, but
we have no control over that.
Yeah, they've been here for a while. I hear all of them.
So we have a couple of minutes before the end of the program. And I know we've been talking football, but I want to take this back to something that I saw, which I was very like, whoa, okay, that kind of slipped by quietly. Did you know that the Warriors made a bid to try to get LeBron James at the trade deadline?
Yes, I did. I saw that today.
That would have been really interesting. But it also tells you that they are looking at Steph Curry with an expiration date now. Because if you go to LeBron James, who's 39 years old, and try to put him together with Curry, who's 36 years old, you're pushing all the chips in and saying, if we're going to get another championship, this has to happen right now. And because you're also sacrificing the youth on the team that you were trying to cultivate, and the youth that Keon said was doing so well that you're able to pull back Klay Thompson and start to work another guy. So, but LeBron James, would that have made them a true contender? Would that have been maybe a difference maker that could have pushed them to winning the championship?
Yes. In a very unfair way, almost. Like it would be absurd to make that trade, but if you're the Lakers and you're like, hey, look, there's a chance to just get younger. We don't have to try and figure out what's going on in the draft. If we're able to get Jonathan Kuminga from the Warriors, then there's a talented young player that we can start to build around for the future. And then we're not necessarily saddled with the demands of LeBron moving forward. It would make them a contender right off the bat, because you can't have a team with LeBron playing the way he's been playing this year. And Steph, even though he's not playing at, the insane levels we've seen in the past, he's still one of the best players in the NBA. You put those two guys together on a team, you become a contender.
So here's how this all went down. So then a couple of people are like, hey, you think LeBron will come over here? Let's find out. So they call up Jeannie Buss, and Jeannie's like, I really am not interested in trading him, but, to just out of fairness to him, go ahead and give him a call. And so they called his agent, and then they came back. Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. So LeBron stayed loyal with the Lakers, hung in there with them. Why would he do that? Because he's chasing a ring. He is chasing a ring.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been his best shot at it, because it ain't happening with the Lakers this year.
I don't know that LeBron's convinced of that. That's the thing is, like, from the outside, we as fans can say, look at who you've beaten, look at where you're struggling, and all of this other stuff. And then we can say, yeah, it doesn't look like this is a ring year, but they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, but old Street Clothes has been playing some damn fine basketball, and they have put together some things. I feel like they just want to get in and then see what happens. The Lakers, and LeBron.
Same thing as the Suns right now.
And I think with LeBron too, I think LeBron knows what his legacy is. And, to go to the Warriors, especially in the middle of a season, it's not a good look for him. People are going to hold that against him, because they already hold the Miami stuff against him, even though that was some of the best basketball he's ever played.
So Dominic from Lithuania, Canada, Lithuania. He says, hey, do I need a nickname for being a texter? If so, you got any suggestions? Well, we don't know anything about you other than that you're originally from Lithuania, but now you're a Canadian. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to tell us a little bit more about yourself, maybe who your teams are, or how the hell you ended up here would be nice to know. But that's really nothing to do with your
what
name.
What are your favorite teams? What's your favorite sport?
What are some of your hobbies?
Yeah.
Maybe if you have an interesting job.
Or you might have your own, Twitter handle or something that you like to use, and you can certainly feel free to use that on here.
Yeah,
may call you?
I got an idea. Because it's Dominic. We call him the Fast and the Fury, Fast and the Furry. I don't know, because he's from Lithuania, so I'm thinking he's kind of hairy. And then Dominic was always all about the family. I don't know, man. How about Fast and the Furry? I don't know.
Because we're all family.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's just I'm spitballing here, Dominic. I'm spitballing here. I'm gonna get shot by some mafias.
He's gonna be waiting for you.
Somebody in a tracksuit's gonna show up. You must be Dominic.
I must break you.
Hurry Harry says, crap. I didn't mean to send that to you. I don't believe you. He says, my honey, you've done so much. Looks really good.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, Hurry Harry. I do my best.
Wait a minute. We have a little crush going on here. What do we got?
Hi, honey.
Yeah.
You've done so much.
Ooh.
Looks really good. Hey, Harry. I know. So Dominic says he likes the Phoenix Suns, the Vancouver Canucks, Toronto Blue Jays, the Seattle Seahawks. He says, I'm just visiting Phoenix to watch some NBA basketball. Well, you're a Suns fan, so excellent.
How is it that you decided that the Pistons were the team that you wanted to see the Suns play?
You wanted to make sure it was a win.
Yeah, that's true. You know, that's a good point.
Yeah, you picked the right one. I'll be honest.
Well, that's true.
You came just all the way here to watch this game. That is well, I mean, it makes sense because this is where the Phoenix Suns are. How did you end up a Suns fan? I'm just kind of curious on that. This could take a few days, Dominic. Breaking news says Big George. I don't know if I should take this seriously. Should I take this seriously?
I don't know. I haven't heard it.
He says Detroit Pistons forward and center Isaiah Stewart punched Phoenix Suns player Drew Eubanks in the back tunnels at the Suns Arena today. Unclear what sparked the altercation. The NBA is expected to receive footage to review. More to come. The game is not even started yet. The game is 7 p.m. So earlier today, then I guess Isaiah Stewart punched Drew Eubanks in the back of the head. How bad do we need Eubanks? Right? Probably not that
bench player. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think the bench should beat the Pistons tonight.
Mm.
Put the bench in.
Maybe Drew Eubanks should be in the lineup then.
Yeah, absolutely. Put him in. I feel like if there is actually that kind of an altercation, don't they suspend Isaiah Stewart immediately?
You would imagine.
Yeah, I think they would have to they're trying to prove that it happened. So they're looking for video. It was reported by Shams Charania, so
it's real.
He has a very good track record.
Newsflash.
We already. You don't need to hit that. We already just did it.
I feel much better now that I hit it, though.
Oh, well, Big George says that both Stewart and Eubanks, I guess they were going chest to chest before a swing to Eubanks' face connected. Wait, I thought you said it hit him in the back of. In the back tunnels. Oh, okay, yeah. So he just punched him. I thought he punched him in the back. I misread that. Punctuation's important. Yeah.
I'm going to beat your ass, and I'm going to start with your head.
Well, I said Isaiah Stewart punched Phoenix Suns player Drew Eubanks in the back tunnels.
It is worded very weird.
Yeah, it's probably on me, though.
By the way, some good news out of Kansas City. The 11 injured young people involved in this particular altercation, all going to recover. Nobody's in critical condition.
11 younger people, huh?
Yeah, it just says injured youth. So that's
wow.
Yeah, 11.
So is there any word on what these idiots were trying to do there? Why were they shooting? Or is it
we still don't know exactly who. There are suspects, 3 arrested and detained right now, but without any knowledge, we don't know.
Have we heard from any Chiefs fans today? Anybody? I haven't heard from anybody from what
would they say?
Well, I mean, they might have a way to know more. They might have some apps that they have that they could find out more information. But we didn't hear from Ravens kid's dad. He's a big Chiefs fan, right?
Yeah.
Random texter.
We'd expect him to say.
Well,
Other
I
than
mean, they might have more information if they if they
If
had like
know somebody from there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
see.
You know, that's all I'm asking.
Well, no word on our text line, but again, let's just. Tomorrow we will know a whole lot more, and
That's good
hopefully
news,
they
man.
actually got the dirty bastards that did that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history.
Back in the year 1990, Michael Jordan was forced to wear the number 12 in Orlando, Florida for the first and only time in his career. Hours before tip-off, the Bulls discovered somebody had run in their locker room and swiped Jordan's uniform. Search was conducted, though neither the culprit nor the merchandise were ever located. So he grabbed a jersey, number 12 practice jersey from Sam Vincent.
And they went out and scored 49 points and pulled down 7 rebounds. So he was annoyed by the fact he didn't have his jersey. He's like, this is kind of annoying, right? Well,
Can you just imagine somebody that's just like, damn it, they stole his jersey. We're getting 50 tonight, aren't we? He's going to put 50 on us.
Somebody, I hope, got that number 12 practice jersey. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
the real one. Yeah.
Someday, that stolen jersey, that's going to show up somewhere. Yeah, if somebody went and stole that and they said, well, it was never located, that means it's hanging in somebody's house. And they're like,
yeah, they never intended to sell it.
I'm keeping this. At least until Michael Jordan dies, then I can do something. Where'd you get this? I found it. Oh, what's your problem? It's not signed, so even better, they go to some autograph signing and they have him sign his own stolen jersey and he doesn't realize that it's a stolen jersey. He signs it, and then after I got it signed too.
That would be horrible.
Michael Jordan he don't even care. Because he's like, thank God my son's not marrying Larsa Pippen anymore. That a lot of stuff he just is letting roll right off his back now. Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, that's it for us. We'll see you back in your radios again tomorrow at 3 p.m.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580.